Bankruptcy.
A stunning fall.
Major restructuring. Debt is piling up.
I see people talking about this Ryan Mata video. By the way, I want to be clear on this. We're sending him a cease and desist, and we will also probably be suing him because we never got paid a dime for talking about Costa. Just so everybody's clear on that. We never were paid a dime talking about Costa. I know Carl very well, and I like him, and I think it's eventually going to be successful. So you can't make up lies about people and get away with it. And there's people finding out that right now. Can't make up lies about this channel. I will not stand for it, just so people understand. And so really, what happens is you have these people, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. And that's exactly what that guy is. He's making up accusations for clicks. He's the worst kind of person, the lowest common denominator. So if he can provide proof, then that would be great. But he can't because it doesn't exist. So just so you guys know, I'm coming after that.
Real quick, last question. I think it might have came up. You were Hillary Clinton's CFO in the campaign, right?
It's part of my history.
Were you? Yes or no?
In 2016.
Did you facilitate the payment for the Steele dossier since you were CFO of the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Sir.
Sure. Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes or no?
That was not.
You're under oath, Chairman Gensler. Yes or no?
I know.
The collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX is, even if you're not interested in cryptocurrency, a history-changing event. It may turn out to be the biggest single-day loss of assets in the history of money.
First, you were Clinton's finance director in 2016, Hillary Clinton's finance director. Second, you hired anti-Trump enforcement director Grewal in July of 2021. Third, you brought in Ms. Barbero, who was the litigator on 2 House impeachment trials against Donald Trump. You have another enforcement counsel who is married to Peter Strzok. In November of 2021, Senator Warren urged you to investigate the SPAC merger involving Donald Trump's Truth Social company. And in December of 2021, just a few weeks later, you guys launched an investigation using a novel legal theory against the former president's social media company. That is some coincidence, isn't it, Mr. Gensler?
Senator, it is good to meet you in person.
Senator, it is good to meet you in person.
But I think you're not correct.
What was I not correct about there?
Billions of dollars evaporated in just moments, and it's still not clear what happened to a lot of that money. It just disappeared. And as it did, it sparked a growing financial crisis across entire sectors of the economy, a disaster that quite possibly could get worse very soon. But the story of the FTX implosion is bigger even than the global recession it may cause. It is the story of the complete and utter corruption of the people who run our country. The very people who should have been covering and regulating and reining in FTX and its 30-year-old founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, were instead profiting from the scam. Not just a few of them, nearly all of them. From the news media, paid off by Sam Bankman-Fried, to the leadership of the Democratic Party, also paid off by Sam Bankman-Fried, to the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC commissioner himself, Gary Gensler. They all knew that FTX was not a real company and that Sam Bankman-Fried was a fraud.
remember this. The only wrong exposure to Bitcoin is having 0% exposure, okay? Please remember that.
Bitcoin, you said you spoke at a conference, you bought it, you bought some of it for your kids last year. You more than doubled your money if you're still holding. Are you still holding? I mean, let's just have a little fun here to end the segment.
Yeah, I am. I'm still holding. My kids are very, very happy about it.
Yeah, what's Bitcoin's real role? There are members of Congress, both parties, I believe, that think it should be banned.
Yeah, I mean, they want it banned because they're being paid by by and Morgan and all the big globalist banking monopolies that are making money on inflation and making money by the Fed printing money. But American people, the American middle class, is getting rolled, and the off-ramp from that, from the money printing machine is Bitcoin. Because it is hard currency. And we need to make it transactionally available to the middle class. We need to make sure that people who want to protect themselves against inflation can have this, but also that they have transactional freedom. That the government is not, able now to digitalize our currencies and like they did in Canada. Yeah. And when the truckers disobeyed, when the truckers protested peacefully, their bank accounts were shut down. And they couldn't pay their mortgages. They couldn't pay for their children's education. The government could control their speech by controlling their transactional freedom. And, transactional freedom is as important as freedom of speech. And you only get that from Bitcoin. We're not going to get that, as long as the government controls our digitalized currency.
This is the footwear of the central bankers of the world, okay? We live in a f***ing clown show, and your kids are going to suffer from it because of the idiots that are managing monetary policy globally. Why do I say that? Very simply, the debt spiral is unsustainable. It's only grade 11 mathematics, and it's like these retards, you're not supposed to say that, but I gotta call it out for the kids, have not done their grade 11 math, okay? Horrible but true. They're compromising our future.
You can actually control and own your money. You can actually have your money, right? How else are you gonna have it? In cash? And then you gotta deal with the inflation? How difficult is it to move serious cash? I had to send, it's about 4 years ago, I sent $900,000 to Qatar for a completely legal reason.
Why?
I wanted to buy a property. So I was involved in the purchasing of a property in Qatar. The backflips, the paperwork, the legal nightmare. I swear to God, I was put on a travel list because for about a year after that, I was stopped at every airport. Just for a bank transfer, right? No problem with Bitcoin, no problem. So it fixes a whole bunch of problems, cryptocurrencies. It certainly does. And I think a lot of people who are forward thinking and believe the things I believe in, it's the only logical conclusion. What else are you gonna do? Trust a bank? Or you trust them? There's nothing else to do with it. I'm actually at the point where, although I do own quite a lot of property, I don't want any more. And I keep getting offered nice property deals, and Tristan's like, should we buy this? It's like, no, I don't even trust the Romanian government or the Russian government. I have property in Moscow. I don't even trust the government anymore. I don't even want a property because if I piss the government off, they're just gonna take it. I don't own it. They say you own it until you annoy the government, then you don't own it, right? So I don't even want property anymore. I'm going full crazy Mr. Blockchain now because it's the only time I feel like I have control over things. And we're losing control at such a rapid rate. I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve. People saying, oh, I'll just buy a house and it's my little house. It's not your little house. You'll see how quickly they'll take your little house from you. Look what they've done so far. They've taken your business from you. You think they want to take your little house? People are not scared enough of the right things. They're scared of Corona. They should be scared of what the government did to them in the name of Corona. That's what they should be. But people aren't logical. People aren't logical. People have low IQs. They're slaves. And they're too busy, preoccupied with racism and all this other garbage to keep them split so they can't all get together for 5 seconds and start thinking, wait, this is bullshit. You remember the big Bitcoin crash, $5,400 at the beginning of this Corona thing? When it really, really tanked. Everyone saying, it's over. All this crap. I put a tweet up that I still retweet to this day saying, you're all pussies. Bitcoin's coming back. I think I said, I'm buying $600,000 today and we can talk when it's at 8,000. So I turned 600 grand to like $12 million. Because I had cash in a bank, and when everything hit the fan, the first thing I thought was, I don't want cash. I want something else. Give me an asset. Okay, well, how can I get an asset that the government can't take? Bitcoin.
Let me explain something to you right now. Okay, here's a $10 bill. This is garbage. This is garbage. Your people in South Africa, you have your rand, right? That's going to zero. That's going to zero. This is going to zero too. Euros are going to zero. The yen's going to zero. The Chinese currency is going to zero. It's all going to zero against Bitcoin. If you don't understand that yet, you're going to be impoverished. You're going to be on the street. You're going to be begging. You're going to be out of business. You're going to be toast.
Max, do you know that it's a criminal offense to tear up?
Do you know that with the Bitcoin I have, I can buy any freaking senator or congressman I want? I make the laws. He who has the Bitcoin makes the laws, Rand. We're not going to just sit around and let the goddamn congressman tell us what to do. We've got the capital. We make the laws. We've got the Bitcoin. They don't. We got it. They don't. Do you understand?
You pledged to block a potential central bank digital currency. Is that about surveillance?
It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. One day you don't have any money in your account. It can be a very dangerous thing.
We are now in a new era of wars, and unless we re-establish order fast, then we are doomed.
Yuval Noah Harari,
one of the brightest minds on planet Earth.
Historian, a best-selling author
of some of the most influential non-fiction books in the world today.
I think we are very near the end of our species because people often spend so much effort trying to gain something without understanding the consequences. For example, we will get to a life where you can live indefinitely, but realizing that you have a chance to live forever. But if there is an accident, you die, the people who will be in that situation will be at a level of anxiety and terror unlike anything that we know. Then you have artificial intelligence, and the world is not ready for it. It's the first technology in history that can make decisions by itself and take power away from us to hack human beings, manipulate our behavior, and making all these decisions for us or about us. Whether to give you a loan, whether to give you a mortgage, dating apps shaping your romantic life. But the real problem is that increasingly the humans at the top could be puppets when the most consequential decisions are made by algorithms. Global financial decisions, wars. This is extremely dangerous, but it's not inevitable. Humans can change it.
But with what's to come, are you optimistic about the future?
I'm very worried about two things.
Well, first of all, this is a dated slide, but look at your top left-hand corner. That's the total U.S. government debt. 30 trillion at the time of this slide. It's now over 31 trillion. But the relevant number is at the bottom right-hand side. $170 trillion of unfunded liabilities in the United States, one country. It will never be paid back. It is mathematically impossible to raise that amount of money. And every single government in the world has the same challenge, okay? $200 trillion combined of funded and unfunded debt the U.S. will never pay back. You need to protect against the debt spiral. It's as simple as this. The average coupon on the debt that they are paying right now is about 1.5%. Guess what the Fed is doing today and doing for the rest of the year for sure? Raising interest rates, effectively increasing the cost of their debt so that it is unsustainable. If the USA were a corporation where I spent my life trading junk bonds, it would be rated triple C. One notch away from bankruptcy. Now here's the crazy thing. The US is the best horse at the glue factory, okay? You guys in Europe are so screwed, it's not funny. I just can't say anything out of the way, okay? So grade 11 math, you will never pay back your debt.
So let's talk about Edward Snowden, because he predicts that some government is buying up Bitcoin on the sly as a replacement for monetary gold. Here was a prediction on X that he made this week. Prediction: a national government will be revealed this year to have been buying Bitcoin, the modern replacement for monetary gold, without having disclosed that fact publicly. Now, why is that a hot topic right now because Bitcoin is surging up to its all-time high of around $60,000 per Bitcoin after circling the drain for most of the pandemic. It seems to be back. So we're taking bets now on which country it is. Now, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele has been talking about the surge in Bitcoin this week and kind of taking a victory lap. Take a look at this. He says when Bitcoin's market price was low, they wrote literally thousands of articles about our supposed losses. Now that Bitcoin's market price is way up, if we were to sell, we would make over 40%, he says.
Profit.
Of profit, yeah. And our main source of Bitcoin is now our citizenship program. He says we won't sell, of course. And he says, remember this next time they spill lies about El Salvador. Look at what the Associated Press did with his CPAC attendance lately. They're saying he got a rock star welcome at CPAC. When U.S. investor Peter Schiff responded about this Bitcoin tweet, he says, you better talk about these profits after you sell and realize them. President Bukele says, just cry harder. So he's not having it. He's a bit, I want to say, kind of Trumpy, right? He doesn't suffer fools. He says what he thinks. He's a little bit rogue, right? Here he is at CPAC. I'm going to bring this back around to the Bitcoin bit because not only does he say these things about cleaning up crime, but he says these things about U.S. financial systems. And watch him drop these truths, and then let's connect it to whether or not this means that the U.S. may be buying Bitcoin on the sly.
When I talk to my conservative friends right here, they always tell me that the problem is high taxes, but they're wrong. Of course, high taxes are extremely high here in the United States. I give you that. You're right in that. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is not the high taxes themselves, but the fact that they are not even really funding the government. Not even those high taxes, higher than a lot of places in the world, not even those taxes are really funding the government. So who's financing the government? Government is financed by treasury bonds, paper. And who buys the treasury bonds? Mostly the Fed. And how does the Fed buy them? By printing money. But what backing does the Fed have for that money being printed? The treasury bonds themselves. So basically, you finance the government by printing money out of thin air. Someone could ask, well, so if the government can print the limited amounts of money out of thin air, why did they collect taxes? I mean, in theory, it would make sense, right? If they can print unlimited amounts of money, why would they need taxes for it? The answer is simple, but it's very shocking. The real problem is that you pay high taxes only to uphold the illusion that you are funding the government, which you are not. It's shocking, but it's true. The government is funded by money printing, paper backed with paper, a bubble that will inevitably burst. The situation is even worse than it seems, because if most Americans and the rest of the world were to become aware of this farce, confidence in your currency would be lost, the dollar would fall, and the Western civilization with it.
So that leads me to wonder, because we know that the US dollar has no foundation, whether or not Bitcoin is being bought up by the United States, as Snowden is talking about. And here's why. I explained this on Twitter yesterday, or X. I'd like it to present it to you now. Did you know that President Eisenhower campaigned with a promise to audit the US gold reserves ounce by ounce? The audit was said to be finished just 7 days after he was inaugurated, but it took them 4 months to publish the report, and it was super fishy. According to the government's own press release, it said all Treasury employees participating in the audit were assigned to activities other than those on which they are regularly employed. That's weird. Why would they not have experts counting the gold? And they never told us how much they actually counted, touched, and weighed. By some estimates, it was as low as 5% of the US stock. Now, experts say that at least 59% of the country's reserves flowed out of Fort Knox in the years since, and we have never been given a straight answer or an accounting. Why is that? And how did we get there? Now, a lot of this comes from this great book, Good as Gold, a fantastic book for a history of how the U.S. citizens were asked to give up their gold, how the United States gave themselves a big raise when they did that, and how then that they sort of pulled the rug out from under the U.S. dollar. I refer you to this. On April 5th, 1933, President Roosevelt, just 1 month in office, outlawed private ownership of all gold. Most in the hands of private hands was gold coins. He said the new decree was, in effect, a confiscation. Those who didn't comply were subject to as much as 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Now, those turning in gold were paid the official price of it, which was $20.66. But as soon as they turned it in, the government raised the price to $35, basically giving the government a raise. They had something that was worth $20, and then they said it's all of a sudden worth $35.
Money is a store of value, and there are multiple monies, and they're not created equal. So let me give you the world's worst money. The worst money in the world is like Argentine pesos or Venezuelan bolivars or Zimbabwe dollars or Nigerian naira. Weak money. The official inflation rate in Argentina is 105%. But that's the official rate, which is that understates it. The actual inflation rate would be higher. And if the inflation rate is running 100%, that means your money is losing half of its value every 12 months. That means that within 10 years, you have nothing, okay? So bad money, bad currency, or bad money loses all of its value over the course of a few years. In Venezuela, you lose all your value in 36 months. In Argentina, in 10 to 20 years, the Argentine peso was 1 to the dollar 21 years ago. If you had $1 million 21 years ago, the Argentine peso right now is about 480 to the dollar. So that's not a 99% loss. That's a 99.8% loss, right?
In how many years?
21 years. So what I'm saying is you don't have money if you have weak currencies.
Now is when you need to be panicking for money. Not when crypto was spiking and everyone was talking about it and every dummy was making money. Then it's too late. You need to be panicked now, make money now, stack your bags now. Stick to the basics, Ethereum, Bitcoin. The coins are not going to go anywhere. You should be panicked now to buy as much Bitcoin needs as possible so in 3 years you can guaranteed retire from life forever. You were panicking more to make money to buy crypto when crypto is reaching all-time highs than you are now when it's on sale. Think about how stupid that is. It's the same coins, the same infrastructure, the same ideals, the same technology. You need to buy now. So now is more important than ever for you to make money. Don't worry about crypto all-time highs and all that kind of crap. You need to make a bunch of money now, urgently, quickly, and start stacking a bag so when the all-time highs come again, you can sell out $25 million. The people who are not panicking to make money now to buy crypto that it's tanked don't understand the world, because those people were panicking to buy it when it was already at the top. That's when they really want to get more Bitcoin. Now it's down, they don't want to get it anymore. That is a big mistake. Now is your chance, ladies and gentlemen. I just said this inside the real world yesterday. I said it to all the students. You are making money at the most important time because the entire world is on sale. You need to make money now in the hard time.
That I felt drove a lot of interest in FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried is an American. His parents are American compliance lawyers. There were no other American large exchanges to invest in. If you wanted to invest in, we knew, for example,
This sounds like groupthink. Did you know there was no CFO? So the money that you lost, was it all just the money that you were compensated for being a spokesperson for FTX? The 9.7, that was money they gave you, and then you lost. Did you lose any money of your own before you were how much? Before you were compensated?
Well, listen, at the end of the day,
but are you net down from your own net worth, or did you got the 15 million and you lost 9 of the 15 million?
Net down. I paid millions in taxes, and I hopefully can recoup those. I paid millions in fees to agents. Are you kidding?
All right.
This has not been a great experience.
But losing 15 million that he gave you to be the spokesperson is a little bit different than.
I listened to the interview that Andrew did with him
So did
at
I.
DealBook, and I thought, that guy's a crook and a liar. You listened to it and said you'd invest money with him again if it turns out there's nothing criminally wrong here. What did you hear that I didn't hear?
It may not fit for Sam Bankman-Fried because we don't know the outcome, what's going to occur.
Yeah, but all I can say is everything he said, I just didn't realize. You didn't realize there was an $8 billion hole. You didn't realize that there was these clients' funds that were being swapped over there. It's not his fault. That to me is like, man, that guy is bad news. That's not just you had bad luck. He was lying and manipulating.
You don't know.
There's only one of 3 reasons that anyone on this planet will ever be poor. You're either lazy, you are arrogant, or stupid. Now, we'll start with lazy. Most of you are lazy. In fact, I'd say basically all of you are lazy. You don't understand what work is. You don't understand what work ethic is. You don't understand the ethos of conquer Earth. You don't have fire blood. You don't wake up to go piss at 3:32 a.m. and go, I'm not going back to sleep because I want to make some fucking money. So you're all lazy. You're all arrogant. Because when I sit here as the richest person who's ever fucking wasted his time talking to your fucking dumbass and tells you what to do, you don't fucking listen to me. Oh, well, Tate, maybe he's wrong about, you're broke. How can I be wrong when you're in the poor category and I'm in the rich category? I obviously know something you fucking don't, you arrogant dickhead. And the third and least common category is stupid. Most of you are not too stupid to become rich. I could show you how to do it. All you have to stop doing is being arrogant and lazy. So if you sit here and go, well, I'm none of those 3 things, yes, you fucking are, because you're not living the life I live. You are a brokey. If you were none of those 3 things, you'd be here with me in this room, wouldn't you? But you're not, because you are a fucking peon. So look at your bank balance, accept it's not as large as mine, and accept that one of those 3 attributes must apply to you. Find out which one it is and fucking change it.
You're leading this country to its destruction. We've already lost control of the world. The American empire's in free fall right now, and we're going to lose the US dollar. And when that happens, we're going to have real poverty here, like Great Depression level poverty.
The third indispensable element in building the new prosperity is closely related to creating new jobs and halting inflation. We must protect the position of the American dollar as a pillar of monetary stability around the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connolly to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
This guy was a major donor. According to the head of Citadel, defeating Donald Trump was literally on the balance sheet of FTX. Watch this.
FTX crosses into a zone that all of us are worried about. On the balance sheet of FTX is a line called Trump lose. And Sam was the second biggest donor to Democratic candidates.
I'm going to leave it to everybody else to draw their own conclusions about what you're saying here.
Then the reporter says, we're out of time. We can't go too deeply into that. Really? Let's go more deeply into it. It's pretty interesting. So, of course, politicians love the guy because he was just a cash spigot, and that's what they want most. But where were the regulators? Because there is a government that's supposed to be independent of office holders, a regulatory state that keeps Ponzi's from happening. Where were they? Well, Sam Bankman-Fried was himself invited to Washington to consult on crypto regulations. And then he posed for a picture with Maxine Waters, who's the head financial regulator in the Congress. And then the Washington Post, which is the hometown newspaper of government, did no reporting on his actual business. They just wrote a puff piece about how cool is it that the guy with funky hair who can't sit still and sleeps on a beanbag is getting super rich.
What is up, Rumble? Welcome back to the Crypto Warroom. I am your host, Ryan Mehta, and we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. We have my good friend and buddy, sorry about that, co-worker at LFA, fellow host at LFA, and we're going to kick things off. I just want to give you guys a little preview of the man you're about to speak with. Let me show you a little bit of Shawn's work really quick before we get into this interview.
Naughty, nasty Nimrata Haley is out. She should have run her campaign out of the back of an SUV. You know, that's where she had most of her success. I call it the escapade in an Escalade. You know what I'm talking about. She did worse than Crooked Joe on a flight of steps. At least Crooked Joe falls up. All she did was fall down over and over again. But now it is time to come together and save our beautiful country. When I was your president, I got along very well with China. President Xi Jinping, I call him Winnie the Pooh. And, you know, China has the Great Wall, but we're going to have the greatest wall. We're going to build it, and it's going to be beautiful, and we're going to get all of the bad hombres out of our country that Crooked Joe let in. They're hurting so many people, and we got to get them the hell out of here. So now it is time to come together and unite behind the greatest and most handsome and incredible presidential candidate and president that this country has ever seen. We will make America great again once and for all in 2024, believe me.
The first one is Alex Stein.
You don't know who you're about to speak to. The one, the only, 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. Are you there, President Trump?
Well, of course, you know, I'm happy that you're talking to the city council. I hear they're tremendous people, and I hear we're going to be bringing these shoes in. These are tremendous shoes. They're hotter than Nikki Haley in an Escalade. You know what I'm talking about? We want to see the children. We want to see them wear the shoes and perform in the shoes and do a tremendous job in the shoes. Isn't that right? Isn't that correct?
Yes, President Trump, you making the shoes mandatory for all school uniforms in Plano School District would be great, and I think that would help the city. But I'm telling you, the mayor here is one of these woke mayors. He loves all the transgender stuff. As a matter of fact, he actually wants to put mandatory gender reassignment into the schools, state-sponsored.
Well, I think that's terrible. And, you know, the only person that I talk to who goes from man to woman, his name is Lindsey Graham. You know who I'm saying? He sits when he pees. But you can look at it and you can talk about all of these different things. I think it's a terrible idea what you're doing. And I think we should absolutely look at this mayor. I think we have to look at him. Maybe we have to replace him. Maybe we have to get rid of him like Chris Christie gets rid of a plate of donuts. You know what I'm talking about? Very fast.
He loves to eat. Okay, so President Trump, what is...
All right, folks, I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of the man, the myth, the legend. This is one of my good friends. Shawn, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, so happy to be here. It's good night. I think the State of the Union still hasn't started yet because there's some sort of protest or Joe Biden had to change his diaper or something's happening. I don't know. Maybe the drugs haven't kicked in yet. I have no idea. I've been saying this all day. If you find cocaine in the White House after tonight, you'll know what it was there for. So I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be talking crypto with you. You're a crypto legend, so knowledgeable about everything. The whiteboard videos on YouTube are second to none. So I'm happy to be kicking it with you and talking about one of the most fascinating spaces around. You know, a lot of people are skeptical, and I'm like, what is there to be skeptical, man? It's a market. Like, invest in it, get involved. There's so many things that can be born from crypto and you know, even down to hosting elections on the blockchain to eliminate fraud. It's just the resistance, though. There's so many people that are just like, oh, it's a scam. And I'm like, well, there's, you know, the Nigerian prince who emails you and says you won the lotto. That's a scam too. Are you going to stop using email? Of course not. So But that's just the way it is. I'm so excited about the entire space, where the market is right now. Just stoked.
Man, so I want to start from the beginning, because when I started at LFA, I thought I was the only one that was into crypto. And I had dropped a few comments in the live chat, and everybody's like, kind of gives me the same look when I talk about flat earth. But you were a little bit different, so you're a little bit receptive. I want to hear about your journey and talk about what got you into crypto, and kind of talk about, because you're still, I would still consider fairly new. You're kind of picking up as you're going along. I want to start from the beginning. What was the first thing that got you into crypto? And we want to talk about your evolution and then kind of where you're at now and how you're seeing things.
So I had a friend of mine in 2017. Bitcoin, I think, was about like $8,000. It was right before the first bull run, and I guess it was November of 17, if I have the timeline correct. And he was like, dude, you got to listen to Bitcoin. It's so cool. And I didn't have a lot of money back then. I still don't, but I didn't have anything back then. And, I was like, oh, that's cool. How does it work? And he's like, well, it's like the stock market, but it's always trading, and it's super hard to buy, and it's a black market. And I'm like, whoa, kind of weird. But then I started thinking about it, and, just Googling it a little bit and thinking about it and talking to him about it. Ethereum was worth $800. And, and you look at the prices now. I mean, 7 years later, Bitcoin is just broke 67,000 as we're talking. And, ETH is knocking on the door of 4,000. And, and then there's all sorts of different. So at that time, the major coins were Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and then there were Bitcoin Cash and other things. And I was just, now there's so much. And I didn't realize it was more than just, something to invest in and, hold quote unquote coins or shares. Now there's actual services that are built on the blockchain. There are messaging apps that are being built. There's AI that is going, the AI space in crypto has been booming lately. Mm-hmm. And there's just so much that has been built on it that I didn't see coming. I didn't understand it. And, I still don't understand all of it, but, the last few months, I've really been paying very, very close attention, thanks to, being self-employed and running my own business and, doing content and all that stuff. I have some time to sit down and look at charts and read, what different technical analysts have said. And, just really, because I've always wanted to, because there's just so much potential. I make the joke, and I've made this joke, and it's true. I wake up at 3 a.m. and I have to go to the bathroom. I check on my trades sometimes, and they're in profit. And I'll wake up, in the morning, my wife, I'll say, hey, I went to the bathroom at 3 a.m. and we profited a couple $100. It's pretty freaking cool. I was like, that's a productive, hey, not too bad. Who's saying that? If you're, who else is doing that? If you're not at least thinking about ways to make money in this market, then you're just not, I don't know, you're just not tapping into that capitalistic spirit. And then, you can think about how it is so if you're conservative, you're F the government or F the man, and you don't want to, this is where you want to be. Pay attention, get in there. So it's all about freedom, financial freedom, all of it. Decentralization, it's all up my alley. It's there. This market is there. So I've been telling people, and they're like, oh, really? You're making millions of dollars? I'm like, no, but I'm learning though. I'm learning how to, I'm learning not to do a lot of swaps on Ethereum because of gas fees. So the other day I was like, what does this say it's going to cost me to do this transaction? I was like, no, I'm starting a Solana wallet. F this. I'm going on a chain that doesn't cost money. And I'm figuring it out. And it's so cool because I know that I'm just scratching the tip of the surface. And at the rate that I'm learning, the crypto atmosphere, ecosystem is evolving exponentially faster than what I'm learning, which is so cool because I know that once I figured it out, there's so much more to figure out. I figured out how to use Uniswap. I'm a crypto guy. And they're like, no gas fees. And I'm like, crap, I got to find a way around that, So I have to learn how to do all this other stuff. It's so fun though. And I'm loving every second of it.
Man, it's funny because you texted me the other day and you're talking about these trades and you're talking, and I'm like, what blockchain you trading on? You're like, oh, I'm on Uniswap. I'm like, oh, you're using Ethereum, aren't you? And you're like, yeah, man, gas fees are killing me. We kind of talked back and forth. Got Shawn set up with his first Solana wallet, and Were you able to get Solana? I know there was a little bit of trouble there trying to get Solana or some coins in your wallet. You got that all figured out, I assume?
Dude, so what happened was, right, again, new, green, okay? I understand a little of it, but like green. So, so I'm using MetaMask, and I didn't realize you can kind of use that. It's a snap is what it's called or something, but I created accidentally like 3 Solana wallets. So there was Solana everywhere. It was just all over the place. And I was like, why the hell? Because I'm used to like you buy something on Coinbase, then you can send it to other wallets. And like, you can't do that this way. You have to bridge it. And then there's like this bridge fee. So I was like, what are we doing? So I bought Solana on Coinbase, and then I sent it to the wrong place. And then I eventually sent it to the right place. And then I was able to bridge some other stuff over, and we're good. We're good and we're doing well. And, a lot of cool stuff on Solana. I guess I was listening to it's like there's a lot of meme coins on Solana, which are like totally unpredictable. So you got to be careful. But like, there's also some really cool, like practical use apps. There's, there's an app I was talking to you about. I was watching from the beginning of the week, and I was just, just swapping back and forth to, small profits. But I'm going to have to start buying and holding when I start to feel good about these, because this Soul Chat is one of these messaging apps. It was really cool. Then there's the Solana Arcade, which I was watching at 19 cents, and it's worth like 90 now. But I was just going back and forth, so, but there's so much on there, a lot of meme coins, but there's a lot of practical use stuff on there too. And I still trade on Ethereum. I just don't do as many transactions a day because I like my money. I don't like to give it away. So, but yeah, we're all set on Solana, and I'm very happy about it.
What do you think has been the biggest difficulty for you to comprehend as far as getting your feet wet? Was it getting your crypto wallet? What has been the most difficult part you think that's going to be hardest for people that are new getting into crypto to understand?
Using the swap decks was really, I had no idea how to do it, but there's like YouTube, like you, people like you tell people how to do this. Yep. And so that's what I did. I was like, how do I use Uniswap? And it's like, oh, just connect your, MetaMask wallet or your Trust wallet or whatever to Uniswap, and it automatically loads, and then you can swap. And I was like, oh, this is easy. It's not bad. But the hardest part is, I think, honestly, the hardest part is for people to trust the space, because there are a lot of scams, a lot of rug pulls out there. But that's what do your own research means, right? Like, you don't just ape into a coin that you haven't looked into, right? I mean, you could lose a lot of money that way. Just like you would not believe the Nigerian prince in your email inbox. It's all the same thing. It's street smarts, right? So you just got to be careful. I think the biggest obstacle for people is trust. And I think the biggest obstacle for people is something new. I don't necessarily love trying new foods if it doesn't revolve around steak, because I know I love steak, but I don't really love a lot of other things, right? So, crypto is that new food that isn't steak, but it's still really good, and you don't know what you're missing until you try it. I was talking to a friend of mine. The other day, and he was like, "Should I get into crypto? Like, what should I buy?" And I was like, "You're asking the wrong person. What should you buy? But should you get into crypto? Yes." But I mean, I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't get. I can tell you what I like, and some of the experiences that I've had with different tokens and different strategies that I've used. But there are what do you like? Because like whatever it is you like NFTs, you can go ahead and do that. You like buying practical use stuff. Like people look at the stock market in segments. Like there's the tech segment, and then there's the all this the AI segment of crypto has gone berserk. I was trading a coin on Ethereum a couple of weeks ago. It was called GPU. It's Node AI. It's decentralized AI, and they basically I guess that you get like server space from them, from what I understand. And I was trading that at 19 cents, and I was going between 19 and 25, and just scalping, because I like doing that in out. And then I realized scalping on Uniswap is it's just kind of sometimes painful, but it's at $1. It was at $1.30 not too long ago, right? So it moved, and I was like, wow, okay, so this is a legitimate project. So there's things for everybody on it, and I always tell everyone, if they go, should I get into it? I say, yeah, you can get into it. There's no guarantee you're going to make money, but I do guarantee you're going to be fascinated by what you find, and little by little, day by day, you learn more. and you become more comfortable. And I think it's just a little repetition. Don't throw huge bags at unknown projects. Make sure you know how to open a trade, do a $5, order or something. So if it, doesn't go right, you lost $5 instead of losing 5,000. And that's what I tell people.
I tell people all the time that if you start with a $100 portfolio and you can't turn 100 into 1,000, you're never going to turn 1,000 into 10,000. You're never going to turn 10,000 into 100,000. So if you're going to try to trade, you absolutely should do what Shawn just said. Start with a very small amount, because if there is no difference. Trading crypto is all about percentages, right? So if you have $10 and it goes up 10%, you make 10%. If you have 100,000, it goes up 10%, you make 10%. That is the name of the game. It's just percentage. And you should trade based off of, really what you can afford to lose, because this is a zero-sum game. For you to win a trade, there's somebody on the other side of that trade that's losing, right? The people that bought, Bitcoin at 69,000 a year ago, I mean, they bought the top of the market and they were selling, they were buying somebody's Bitcoin that somebody was selling. Now you can hold, like everybody right now is pretty much, almost anybody that's invested in Bitcoin is in the green right now. It's really a bizarre kind of concept, the fact that, anybody that bought and hold at a certain point is in the profit. And I think we're only going to go up from here. Do you think that, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin? I know you're fairly new to this space. We've talked about it a little bit. A lot of people say that, Bitcoin's 69,000, so I missed that boat. What are your thoughts and mindset on Bitcoin right now?
Listen, if I could afford an entire Bitcoin, I would buy one today. I mean, because even though it may go down before it goes up, and I don't like thinking that I'm buying the top, I look at a lot of TA guys on Twitter, and they mention that this is something that Bitcoin generally tends to do, is that when it reaches where the all-time high is, it takes a few chances, a few attempts to break that resistance, and once it does and it holds it and establishes support above that all-time high, it flies. And that's been the pattern over and over and over again with Bitcoin. Sometimes it has to test it 3, 4, or 5 times before it can break through. There may be a lot of shorts that have to be liquidated first too, for it to just, break into that clean air out front. But if I had the dry powder available to buy Bitcoin, I would buy one now, knowing that I may lose value on it, but I'm not going to lose it all, right? Because it's not going anywhere. It's not. Correct. It's not going to. The Bitcoin's not going to rug pull to zero. You're not going to lose 69,000. You may lose a lot. It may go down. It may retrace 20% before it goes back up. 70%. But and that's healthy. But you're not going to lose it all, and that's a long-term thing. I wouldn't say, hey, go ahead and scalp Bitcoin right now. That's what meme tokens are for, and some of the other ones, the smaller, but. And Solana, that's where you scalp. You don't scalp on Ethereum. I learned that the very hard way. But but Bitcoin to me is something that if I had it available, I'd buy it right now. And I know that in a few years, I'd look back and say, wow, thank goodness I bought Bitcoin at $69,000, right? Somebody in October of 2021 is upset that they did that because it crashed right after that or entered a bear market. But somebody now would say, thank goodness I bought Bitcoin at $69,000, because you'll be looking at it at some absurd target that I can't even wrap my brain around.
It's wild, man. How are you feeling about the current markets? You're in the political game with me. You pay attention to things like that. How are you feeling about what's going on with like BRICS and these other nations? Can you give us a little insight on what's been coming from like the political aspect and what's happening to the dollar for people that aren't aware?
Yeah, the dollar's in trouble. There are countries that are abandoning it, and it's losing its claim to the global reserve currency. And a lot of people would always say, "Well, buy gold. It's a great hedge against inflation." And listen, it is. But here's my thing about gold, right? So I like gold. I'm not telling people not to buy it. It's definitely valuable. It's definitely a good investment. Usually, it gains value moves with inflation. Here's why I like Bitcoin more than gold, though, is you can't transact really with gold anymore. If you buy the gold and you have it in your house, what are you going to mint gold coins and go to CVS and buy your medicine with it? You can't, right? Now you can't use Bitcoin in its purest form in CVS, but you can transact with Bitcoin. It is a currency. where gold is not as much a currency anymore, if it is. So Bitcoin to me in this day and age has more of a practical use than gold does. And I think Bitcoin's a great hedge. And when you see the dollar in trouble, here's my question. So you have whatever, let's say you have $50,000 in your bank account. Cool. No worries. So you're 50. And this is what I tell, by the way, this is what I tell people about when you buy your phones, right? Everyone's like the device payment. I don't like the device payment. I'm going to buy it outright. And I'm like, well, actually, this is one of those rare situations where I tell you not to buy it outright because that's a fix. There's no interest on those device payments with the cell phones. And until they do that, and they're going to have to at some point, unless their margins are just that good, you never buy your phone outright from the carrier because if you're paying $32 a month for 24 months, the $32 a month that you start in month 1 is worth a lot more than the $32 a month that you end with in month 24 because it doesn't adjust, so you're actually ahead of the game rather than dropping $800 on your phone, right, up front. Now I buy my phones on eBay. I get them this is refurbished. I'm not ashamed to say it's refurbished. I got it for $400. This is a $1,200 phone and it works great. That's different. But if you're going to go to Verizon and you're going to buy a $1,500 phone outright, they are getting the most value out of the $1,500 because you're giving it all to them now. And what it's worth now is going to be more than what $1,500 can have, more buying power than what it's going to have 2 years from now. That's why until these cell phone companies start with the interest, by all means, spread those payments out, right? Because you're not actually paying more than what the phone was worth. You're actually probably paying less as time goes on than what that device was worth. And so I look at Bitcoin and I look at, if you have $50,000 in your bank account, well, what is it doing? And if that number does not change over 2 years, you've lost value. You've lost buying power. Right? You've lost so whatever 50,000 can buy you today in 2024, it's not going to be able to buy you as much in 2026. Yeah. But if you put that money or a portion of it into something that will increase over time, invest it, you can increase the buying power of that money. You can wind up with, $75,000 in 2026 and have moved with it and have not lost that buying power. So I always say to people, with crypto, I'm just fascinated by it. And it's not, look, in 2017, I was super skeptical because I was like, what the hell is this? But it's not going anywhere. It has been it is here to stay. And it's so entrenched now that it's going to be hard for, I think, governments to corral. And that's the most important thing. There's so much out there. They're going to be like, we're going to crack down on Bitcoin. But are you? Is there really a way? I don't know. You may know this. Is there really a way for them to totally take control of it? I mean, I don't know. But I love the space.
I think that and this is what actually forced me into the political side of things, right? I wasn't big into politics like you guys were. I was full on crypto, bro. And then when I was watching our country just get destroyed and going, like, you could see the writing on the walls. If Joe Biden and Democrats rig this election and they take the House and the Senate because they rig everything and they have full power of this country, they will destroy crypto. I think Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Pelosi and who's that other lady that just got lured today? The black lady.
Oh, I didn't see.
Maxine Waters, right? Yeah,
Maxine I can't stand her.
Yep. So, I think they have been the biggest sounding boards. Like when I'm on LFATV and I'll say something about Bitcoin and people kind of give me a hard time in the live chat, I'll just look at them and go, you sound like Nancy Pelosi. You sound like Elizabeth Warren because you're literally using their sound bites. So it's like, right. I personally think that they have been the biggest, advocates and drivers to Bitcoin adoption than anybody in the world at this point. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's funny when, folks on our side of the political aisle take that anti-crypto stance, because then you can say, hey, actually, you're in lockstep with Elizabeth Warren on this issue. Maybe you want to rethink that, right? Yep. It's about control. They can't control it, and they can't control what you and I do with it, and that's what they don't like. This is my biggest point on crypto, and I always talk about this when I talk about January 6th. As a matter of fact, I said it today. January 6th isn't about the 2020 election. It's about the precedent that the government can set for anybody else who then takes an anti-regime stance in any way. If they can go after peaceful protesters, they can go after crypto bros, okay? And I'm saying this because if Biden wins, Democrats win, and they roll out central bank digital currency, what is the number one, the biggest threat, the biggest competitor to CBDCs? It's Bitcoin and it's cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not centralized. So you don't think you're trading Bitcoin, you're trading Ethereum, whatever it is that you're doing. You don't think you're a financial terrorist in a couple of years when you're not using, when you're doing the exact opposite of what the regime wants, right? I mean, the same thing goes for your fitness guys. If you tell you're a personal trainer, let's say, or you're a dietitian, whatever, and you're like, don't eat the bug-based meat, it's not good for you. You don't think you're going to be a dietary insurrectionist? I mean, I'm serious. You don't think this is coming? So like crypto is that there's a segment of people in this country that could vote. They do vote. They may not vote GOP or for Trump or MAGA or conservative or really libertarian. But I think they are now. I think they're starting to come around now because they realize there's one party whose vision for government generally wants to leave you alone or leave you more alone than the other side. And the other side wants to take everything and they want to come for crypto. And I hope the message gets out to the crypto community. If they are thinking about backing Democrats, you are literally signing off on your own extinction, or at least not extinction because it's not going anywhere, but you're gonna take away a lot of what made it possible to see those huge gains. You can take that away from yourself just by filling in a ballot. And it's sad. You don't want to do that.
Man, I couldn't have said that any better. I mean, I should bring you on the show all the time to say that over and over. I might even clip that. That's so well said.
Yeah, clip it.
That is so good. And then it's true. You're literally signing away your own demise. And people that, maybe don't pay attention to politics. Am I wrong when I say the Democrats will smile, lie right to your face, and stab you right in the back? They will take pro-crypto stance to get your vote. And the second that they are elected, they'll turn around and stab you right in the back.
But look at how much they took from FTX. They had no problem with crypto when they were being bankrolled by Sam Bankman-Fried, right?
Yep.
So, but now they have a problem with it, right? Of course, because
Oh yeah.
if you're not on their side, like if George Soros was a Bitcoin guy, they'd love Bitcoin, okay? But he's not, or maybe he is. I don't know, but he probably isn't. But the point is, and they'd make exceptions, right? Like they'd make the exception. They called Martha's Vineyard a low-income area. What? But they made the exception because, they want to put electric vehicle charging stations in there for free. Give all your friends free gifts out of Martha's Vineyard. So they'll make an exception. Sam Bankman-Fried is allowed to use Bitcoin. George Soros is allowed to use Bitcoin. Bill Gates is allowed to use Bitcoin, right? But Ryan Matt is not allowed to use Bitcoin because he's using it for bad things and he can't use that. And he has to, send a report out every day that he, does something. They will always do that. And when they want to preserve something, they don't want to preserve it for you. They want to preserve it for them, right? Mm-hmm. Why would they be okay with a Sam Bankman-Fried, a George Soros, a Bill Gates, one of these big money guys, a Reid Hoffman? Why would they be okay with those folks getting into Bitcoin? Well, because it benefits them. Well, they're not okay with Ryan Matta getting into Bitcoin because Ryan Matta is not on their side. So Bitcoin is bad for Ryan, but it's good for Bill Gates. It's the same thing. How we've seen this all over the place. I mean, Katie Porter, literally in the California Senate race, literally said the race was rigged, but because she's a Democrat, she's not going to jail. So they want to come for crypto. They want to come for they want to come for anything they can't trace, track, or control. Okay? That's why they've come for speech, word of mouth. They want to hear everything you're saying. Word of mouth is like cash. You can't stop it. If nothing's listening, nobody knows that you're saying it. Okay? They want to come for cash, CBDCs, and they want to come for your virtual cash, right? Your untraceable virtual transactions, because they can't control it. And anything that they can't control is a threat to their power. And that is what they fear most, losing their power.
Couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it any better if I wanted to. That's so true. Everything you just said there. I want to talk a little bit too about you've been trading, man, So let's talk a little bit about your trades. I personally get wrecked quite often, and you're constantly, sending me DMs. And I also want to go into a little bit about the meme coins that you've been finding, because you've been on a roll. Which one do you want to talk about first, trading or meme coins?
Well, let's do trading, and then we'll roll the meme coins, because the meme coin stuff is good stuff.
Dude, it's blast, man. So, all right, let's talk about trading. When was the first time you looked at a chart?
Probably back in 2018. I was on Twitter. I was following a couple of TA guys, and they were using terms that I didn't understand, but I saw green and I saw red, and I knew that green went up and I knew that red went down. And they were talking about candles, and I was like, I don't see a candle. I see a box. What is a candle? So I started looking all of this up, and I started watching as this people's their TA, these trades were hitting time after time after time after time. And I am nowhere near that level. Okay. But I watched in 2018 and watched and watched and watched. And in 2021, I kind of dove back in because I saw some stuff happen and the bull market kicked in, and I was on Coinbase an awful lot, and had some fun in that bull market. I had a little bit of fun. It was nice. But I still didn't have the time to sit down and look at charts. And then finally, over the last couple of years, I've been keeping an eye on everything, dabbling and reading up on some technical, analysis and different patterns and what the patterns mean. One of the ones that I generally see often and can pretty much call is the head and shoulders. I know that's, I'm like, don't touch it. Wait till that's over, and that's been, the bull flag is another one. I think I sent you a picture, and that was the Soul Chat chart, and it broke out. It just broke out a little later than I thought, but it did break out. It didn't go as high as I thought it was going to go after the breakout, but it did. It broke out. It collapsed a little and maintained its structure, and it did break out. And it was about, I don't know, maybe 12 to 24 hours later than I thought it was going to break out. But I mean, hey, not so bad for someone who's pretty new. I've been generally, when I'm looking for trades, looking for volatility because I like to scalp. And I use the RSI indicator a lot, overbought, oversold. And I kind of just use that as a loose guideline and then roll with it, so that bearish head and shoulders. That's
you can see that's cool.
I see that a lot, and I know, don't go near it unless you want to open up a short. If you could short it, then that's a good time to do it. And then of course the inverted head and shoulders is it's the opposite. But these are things that these are the things that I started to look at years ago, and it's starting to stick. I'm not an efficient trader by any means, but I am on a pretty good run right now. And like I said, I love to scalp. I like to look for these lower market cap, lower supply kind of coins, and then just trade the ups and downs. Buy low, sell high. It's what everyone wants to do, and I've had pretty good luck with it thus far.
And so when you're looking at RSI, are you using any of the bearish or bullish divergence yet? Have you got into any of those trade setups?
Yeah, I mean, I know, I'm pretty sure I know what that is. I am not good at spotting that. I generally stick with RSI. I'll go, okay, well, let me see it come below 30 and then wait, because it usually, and then look and see if you see signs of a reversal, confirmation, and then enter the trade. Now, me saying that is a lot easier said than done, because you're staring at the chart and the trigger finger comes out, and it's like you have to hold it down, because every time the trigger finger gets the best of me, it's either a loss or it takes too long for me to make the gains I want, and I get frustrated that I was like, if I had just waited literally 5 minutes, I'd be in the green 10%, and I'd be moving on to another trade. But yeah, I look for the bearish and the bullish divergences, but not too much. I'm just trying to work on and it's the time frame too, because scalping, you're on the smaller time frame. But sometimes I know I'm not really going to quote unquote scalp it. I'm really going to try and play the swing
trade.
So I'll go on a longer time frame. Maybe it's an hour or the 4 hour. and I say, oh, wow, the RSA is down in 4 hours. So let me go ahead and open this trade now. And maybe tomorrow it'll look better. And we'll just let that sit. And I've done that a few times to probably better results than the scalp, because you have to really be quick. It's like catching knives, but it's so much fun. If you have the time to learn it, and you do it, Ryan just said, right, start with 100, go up 10%, oh, but I only made $10. No, you made 10%. Okay. That's how you have to think. Train yourself with small in case you lose. You don't lose $1,000, right? If you accidentally throw $100 into a coin and you get the rug pulled, you're at 100. You're not at 1,000. So that's what I've been doing. The trades have been fun. I'm happy that I have my Solana wallet up. I have some of my holdings in Sol, and Sol has been on a run, so that's been nice.
Ripping, yeah.
And it's been good so far.
And do you have any rules that you trade with? Like, say, like some traders I've heard say, I start my day with $300. If I lose $300, I'm done for the day. Or I always use a 2% stop loss. Are there any guardrails or any scenarios where you're like, okay, I'm down 5-10%. I got to cut my losses here. What are your parameters? Are there any rules that you use when you trade?
I should use rules.
My man.
Don't. Yeah. But I generally have confidence that I'm not going to lose too much. And and there just becomes a point where I go, all right, you know what? I think this trade is a loser. Let me look for another trade and roll the lost assets into this and make it back. And I've done that several times. I'm like, damn, I totally read that wrong. Happens. You're never going to be perfect. So it's you can't kick yourself. But I'm like, all right, so we have this. Okay. I'm going to go look at some of these other tokens and see what's going on. And we can roll the loss, the smaller amount in, and try and gain the 20% that I lost. Now we have it. We've got our lost, our lost assets back. And now we can go ahead and find another trade. And sometimes that takes a while. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's generally what I've done. I don't wait too long. If I see it really, getting pretty bad, I'll go ahead and either, pull it or roll it into a different trade.
And are there any, have you noticed there's any specific time frames that the market's really volatile and you like trading between 9 and 11 a.m. or, 8 and 10 p.m.? Or do you just open your trades and kind of go about your day and keep an eye on them? How are you kind of managing your trades?
Well, on some of my favorite meme coins, I call it the witching hour. Last week has happened every day. Something happened. I guess the Asian markets got involved. Yep. You could tell when China woke up. There was a point in time where I was just like, okay, I know it's going to happen overnight. It's going to go up 10%. And I would, put a trade in and wake up in the morning and it would be up 10% every day. And it was like, whoa, that's really cool. It doesn't happen all the time. I got stuck a few times. There are some patterns you can recognize there, but I generally just go, you know what, this market's going 24/7. It's fluid. Let me see where the coin is at. Where if I'm getting ready to open a trade, where's the RSI? What does the chart look like on the long time frame, on the shorter time frame? Is this a good scalp? Is this a good swing trade? Are we going to buy and hold for a month? What are we doing? And kind of just go from there and just do it what the market and what the chart essentially tells you should do. And I'm not perfect. Certainly not. But so far this go around, I've had a pretty good run. So it's been exciting.
Hey, correct me on this, Shawn. Is it Farash or Farash? I've heard both.
Farash, yeah.
Farash, okay.
Yeah, people say it however they want. That's okay.
Got it. Shawn Farash, guys, if you guys are just joining us, please consider smashing that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and then if you swing down below, down in the description are links to Shawn's website. I wanted to pull up your website and kind of promote a little bit of this stuff for you. And I had it all pulled up. Oh, there we go. I got like 30 different websites all pulled up here. But tell us a little bit about your website, Shawn. Tell us a little bit about you do like custom birthday phone calls. So let me just play a quick clip. We got a lot more people in here. This is one when Trump was when Shawn met Trump and he got to do his Trump impersonation.
Mr. President, the people wanted to hear it. They wanted to hear it. You did a fantastic job. And I have to say this. Okay? We are going to help you win. in a landslide. Worse than Chris Christie after a night at Taco Bell.
So Shawn on his website does custom birthday messages, phone calls. You guys can swing over here. It's farashmedia.com, and he's host of the Ungoverned podcast over on LFATV. So if you guys haven't been over to LFATV's Rumble channel, me and Shawn both do shows over there. Give us a little shill on your website, Shawn.
Yeah, so right now I built that. I'm not good at doing that either, but it worked out okay. And basically what we got some of the latest clips on there, but the custom voice messages, the only thing we're selling right now. And it's a lot of fun. So some of the requests I'll get is, hey, I want my voicemail greeting to be from Trump. So the person will order it and write, kind of some details. I don't need a script. Sometimes they write me a full script. I'll read it and kind of throw a little flair. But if it's a detail, it's like, this is for, Marcy. Marcy loves Trump. Hates Biden, thinks AOC is stupid, and Nancy Pelosi is ugly and can't come to the phone. So it's like, you've reached Marcy's voicemail, and she's probably out harassing Nancy Pelosi somewhere, or calling AOC stupid or low IQ. She's a low IQ person, but Marcy's a high IQ person. That's why I'm recording the voicemail. She can't come to the phone. Leave a beautiful message, and she'll get right back to you. And it's just like that, boom. And I get replies back going, I get so many phone calls. I said, what do you mean you get phone calls? That's great. They go, no, it's not great, because they don't want to talk to me. They just want to hear the voicemail greeting. I'm like, oh, well, that's good for me. That's great. Well, that's awesome. So we do that. Happy birthday, happy retirement. Sometimes I get this. This is one of my favorites too. I want to get well message for my liberal aunt. She hates Trump. And I'm like, this is what I live for. I heard you don't like me very much, that, but I love you. I love you a lot. That. The fake news says I hate you, but I love you. You're a great person. And I heard you're going to vote for me. I heard you're finally thinking about voting. It drives them crazy.
Oh, dude, that's so good.
Great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And this is not one of the ones that I do, but I have done it. Not that you can't have it, but a friend of mine. So this is before I had a website, but a friend of mine messages me and goes, my wife has been in labor for a very long time, and the baby needs a message from Trump to come out. So I'm taking they go, baby Jack, you got to get the hell out of there. The whole world wants to see you. I kid you not. Like 10 minutes after they played the message, the baby came out. So
that is awesome.
He listens to Trump, right? So boom, baby deliveries too. Doctors in the house.
Man, well, I got your link to that down in the description. I'm going to share it over here in the live chat, man. I'm going to get Shawn. I sent him a message to say, hey, can I order one of these and pay in crypto? And
the answer was yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Like instantly. Yes. So I'm going to share it over here in the live chat. Make sure you guys swing over there and show Shawn some love, man. Let's talk about these meme coins, Shawn. I'm dying to know. What was the market cap? So Shawn has been messaging me about all these meme coins. He's always sending me, because I'm probably the only crypto person in LFA. So he's always sending me screenshots and, these meme coins, and you had came across this one, which was MAGA coin, and you'd sent it to me a long time ago. Do you remember the market cap of MAGA coin when you first found that? What was the market cap on that coin?
So when I first got involved with MAGA meme coin, Trump coin, Trump token, whatever you want to call it, but it is ticker Trump on ETH, magamemecoin.com, because there's a lot of, if anyone's thinking about getting into it, there's a lot of alternatives out there that are scams or just not the right coin. So
is this the right one right here with the ticker Trump?
Yes, that is it. That is it. Yeah, ticker Trump. That's it right there. So obviously, if you're going to trade that or acquire that, it's on 3 chains now. It's on BSC, it's on Sol, and it's on ETH. Started on ETH, went over to Sol, and it's on BSC as well. Make sure you get the right contract address, obviously, and then you won't be able to make that mistake. But so this is MAGA meme coin. I've been involved with them since August. And it launched in August, and it launched right around the mugshot, right before the mugshot came out. It was minuscule, dude. It was tiny, and now it's not tiny anymore. And
you
one
got
of the
in
things
it back
that I love,
there. That was the one. That was the very first one that you sent me that on. I didn't know that. I thought this was the second one.
No, this is crazy. So
are you guys seeing this chart, guys? This is when Shawn reached out to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, meme coin on ETH. I'm not buying that. I'm not gonna be a fucking idiot, but I'm not gonna rain on Shawn's parade." Now look at Shawn, 300 something million. $457 million market cap now.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy watching that, and I'll tell you this: this was the thesis going in. So we host weekly Twitter Spaces on Tuesday nights. The MAGA Meme Coin group does. I host them on my page, and we have been saying this since the day it launched. This coin has the potential to react to political stimuli, right? Yeah. So we had launched it. It was up in April of August of 23. There weren't that many stimuli, but there was the mug shot, and then indictments and things like that. Those were right around the same time, the Georgia cases, but it was slowing down, politics wise. But we knew going into the election year, starting with the Iowa caucus and going through primary season, that there were going to be a lot of political stimuli that could influence the value of the coin, the market cap. And when Iowa happened and the thing took off, all of us were like, wow, our thesis was true. This is going to react to political stimuli. And if you look at the daily chart, you'll see a lot of the kind of when it makes a run up, those are primary dates. That's, Iowa, South Carolina, Super Tuesday. And now we've seen a really healthy correction. It reached an absurd number over the weekend, and it has pulled back, found nice support, accumulated new holders, really, really healthy. But the craziest part about this, and this is all developed in the last couple of days, really the last week, CoinGecko, I believe it was, they must have been listening to our spaces, because I host the crypto spaces with Stephen Steele and Jackie Dutton. She works for Useless Crypto News, and or she hosts a show on that. And so she coined the term back in November of last year. She coined it polyfi. So there's like DeFi and then, GameFi and MemeFi. There's polyfi, politics, right? CoinGecko this week just added a new section on their website called Politify. It's literally almost the same name. And MAGA Meme Coin is leading that category. So it is a pioneer in that space as a political meme coin. And there are a ton of other ones that are trying, but not necessarily doing what MAGA is doing. And again, it is amazing to watch. I mean, we had a nice little run up before the State of the Union tonight. It's amazing to watch this react to political stimuli. It is named after the most memeable person in the world. Everybody knows him. You can love him, you can hate him, but his name is always out there. So you have, that going for you as well. And then this is a really strong community that has been built around the spaces, around the coin, around Trump, around politics, and around crypto. And it's like the best of all those worlds meeting. And you could see it in the performance of the token. It's doing really, really well. And, there are technical analysts who will join our spaces, and they have said for the last really month to 2 months that this thing's ahead of schedule. Although you saw the move that Ryan just displayed, you're probably still early on this, potentially. And, I'm not just saying that because I've been in it for a while, but I genuinely believe it. I believe you may still be early. The technical analysts that come on our spaces will say that they're revising their targets higher. And I'm looking at this going, wow, this is way ahead. It's March, right? The election's not till November. But now, because of what this coin has done, it's carved out a niche in the crypto space. This is potentially, and the goal now of the team, right, was what they're saying, is what they've been putting out in their interviews, is for this to be like the SHIB of polyfi, right? Like this is going to be now not just a meme coin that runs up to the election, but a legacy meme coin. Something like a Doge, something like a SHIB that will go on forever. Yep. And the early performance of this indicates that may very well become what happens here.
It's funny is I could totally see that happening. because they're meme coins. It's the initial getting off the bottom, getting past that first 100 million. Most of them don't make it there. They'll pump up one time, and then as soon as some of the devs that the original OG investors just did an 80x, even if they put in $100, that's 800. Or if they put in 1,000, that's $8,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's so tempting for them not to, take those profits. And I said that wrong. 100x on $100 would be 10,000, right? So it's like the gains are so exponential, and there's normally not a lot of liquidity. But you're talking about it's on multiple exchanges now. It hit a peak of $13. And I want to tell you guys, Shawn's TA on this coin, he'll send me screenshots all the time, be drawing his patterns on the charts. And I'm always thinking to myself, like, man, I hope my buddy doesn't get wrecked. But like, not that I don't trust you, but almost every single time I go, dude, you should take some profits on that. You're like, nope, not wait until Super Tuesday. It's going to pump. And then the next day it's like $11 freaking dollars. And I'm like, dude, spot on. Everything you've been predicting on this coin is spot on. And it looks like it came down as low as, let's see what we're looking at on the chart, 585 the other day, and now it's rallying back up again because the State of the Union stuff, right?
Well, it dipped low, and I'm telling you right now, so it's really encouraging. So you see red candles, you're like, oh no, like this is the end of the run. It's not, because we're over 12,000 holders on ETH, we're over 8,000 holders on Sol, and those numbers increased as the value of the coin dropped, which means more people saw that as a buying opportunity, not a panic sell opportunity, and profit taking is going to happen. People are going to take profits, especially when it moves like that. So you have to expect that. I don't expect people to not take profits because I want them not to hurt my feelings. I want to see the price keep going up. When you're trading at an RSI over 100, something has to happen. And profit taking is normal and it's healthy, and it helps redistribute, from some of the whales to some of the minnows, right? The retail. And what has happened over the last couple of days, what it looks like so far is it's building a nice little floor of support around between 6 and 750, maybe a little higher, in that range right now, because every time it gets down there, it gets bought right back up. And it's smaller investors buying it back up. It's not whales buying it back up. So you're seeing the new holder number increase. You're seeing, it was a pretty healthy correction. Things are stabilizing, and I think we're going to consolidate. We may consolidate for some time.
You have to, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe things ran up, and then it just loads up. You see them Bollinger Bands; they get like really freaking tight. Yeah, and then you're like, all right, we're going one of two ways here.
Yep. And those Bollinger Bands are on point too. Sure I love when they tighten up like that. Something explosive is going to happen. But look at this coin. I mean, even if it came down another 25 or 30% from here, I mean, that's. What do you expect when a coin runs almost straight parabolic 45,000%? You can never make these gains in traditional finance. And that's what people don't really realize, how early we are in this market. And don't get me wrong, there's probably 50 Trump coins out there that are all scams, right? And this is a meme coin. It's not even supposed to not be a scam. It's just supposed to be a community coin. We're going to invest in it. Price goes up. Awesome. It's not supposed to be.
Here's the cool thing. I don't want to interrupt you, but here's the cool thing. So there's a 1% buy sell on MAGA Trump, this coin here. And what the devs have done, we've had them on our spaces, is they take the 1% buy and sell and they actually donate that to charity. So we have donated a lot to charities that help fight child trafficking and help homeless veterans. Dude. So, I mean, hey, right? So
that's huge.
Yeah, we've had them on our spaces speaking about the your devs reached out, and your devs NVHS, I think, is one of the organizations, and they've been on our spaces and they've said, hey, your dev reached out and we created the way for our organization to accept crypto, and we've been sending them ETH, and it's we're sending them ETH, so whatever we're sending them plus whatever ETH has become, right? So
it's huge, dude.
It's nice, and it's only 1% buy and sell, so it's not like a huge chunk of your trade getting but it's all going to good causes. So really, it's really cool.
Man, that's super freaking cool, man. I hope this turns into the next Shiba for you. I was I was the very first YouTuber to ever make a video on Shiba. I actually think the developers from the Shiba were the ones that shared that in my live chat that day. Like, if you're trying to figure out who created Shiba, you should go back to that live stream. I shared a video. I think I sent the video to you. Yep.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you did.
And it's amazing, man. You know, if I would have put, you know, $1,000 into that, I think I would have had like 70 million at the peak or something like that. A freaking $1,000, dude.
Yeah.
And this coin has that potential.
And the problem, here's the thing that I look at, right? So MAGA is doing very well, but you also have to so it's like fishing. I say this all the time. It's like fishing. So if you take your friend out fishing and they catch a huge fish, they're going to think that's what happens all the time. So that's not what happens all the time. You know, it's hard to make, 45,000% on a trade, but you can still do what we just talked about earlier and learn how to make 10% on your trades and still by the end of the year go, whoa, I made $1,000 a week in crypto. I doubled my salary. You know, I work at a hardware store and make $50,000 a year, and I made $52,000 in crypto. Like, holy crap, right? Little by little, just learn. You know, the market's not the industry or the space isn't going anywhere. You know, even in a bear market, you can still make money. So, there's always going to be ups and downs, and you just pick the right time to enter and exit, and you could do really well.
What other meme coins have you been looking into outside of, and what are you looking for in these meme coins? I could hunt meme coins for years and never find them. And maybe it's because I'm too impatient. You know, I don't give them enough time. You know, you sat on this one for quite a long time. Didn't you even make like a commercial, like a MAGA meme coin commercial? Was that the coin? No, that was Let's Go Brandon token.
Yeah.
That you made
that was a different one. Yeah.
So how are you finding these meme coins? Do you have a strategy? Do you have friends that are kind of like, hey, we should take a look at this? What do you think? How are you searching for these tokens?
Well, I look at what MAGA was young. All right. So they had a supply of 47 million because he's the 47th president. Right. So it's like, it's very symbolic. But I've figured out that I like to look for, if I'm looking for a meme coin or just another token that I want to trade. Like I found GPU because it was trending on DEX tools. I found that on Ethereum just to see what it would do. And it was trending on DEX tools. And I looked up the project. Now, this is interesting. It probably has a real world use here, this decentralized AI platform. But it had a small circulating supply, a relatively small market cap, but the growing number of holders and volatile price action. So I said, if it's going to swing, I might as well try and make money off the swing. The same thing over on Solana. There are a bunch of not necessarily meme tokens, but practical use. The meme thing is all right. It's cool. It's so hard to find out which way to know going in if you're going to get rugged or not. But then there's these practical use. Like I use Signal to talk all the time because it's encrypted. But then you have like these, and this is not an endorsement of them, but I've been looking at Soul Chat, which is, ticker chat, I think. And it's a decentralized encrypted messaging platform that they're trying to build on the Solana blockchain. And I'm like, this is freaking amazing. So, I found it earlier in the week and I scalped it pretty well. And then it came down, corrected, and that kind of got stuck in a trade, so I rolled out of it. But it was it's doing well now, and I think that's got a bright future. It's another one. I look for the small supply, growing number of holders, relatively small market cap to get in early and take advantage of the volatility before price really starts to stabilize. And you can't really make much on a coin that's trading sideways, unless you start using leverage, and then things can get really risky. Yeah. So I look for those things, and it's not perfect. It's hard to find. I don't like to just start throwing money at different meme tokens because I don't know if I've missed the boat, but when I do like to look for projects that have a practical use, something that would give it staying power because of what could be built on it, and go with that, even if it's not to make the trade, to scalp, it's more or less to buy and hold. At least I know that my money's probably in a safer place, and that gives me peace at night.
Yeah, I'm going to actually show you a couple of cool tricks here. I'll show you how to take a look at a company's GitHub. So what's really awesome about crypto is these projects that are, quote, claiming to be decentralized, right? In order to claim you're decentralized, your code has to be open source, which means their repository is on CoinMarketCap. So if it's a legit project, you can actually go and look at their GitHub and see if they're actually building anything or not, or developing any code. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. But before we get into that, let's say you started with $1,000, and like you said, you're just scalping small amounts. Let's just say you got into crypto and you started with $1,000, and you're able to make 1% profit per day, but you compound that profit every day. In a 2-year period, starting with $1,000, what do you think you could turn $1,000 into? Over a 2-year period.
I don't know. I mean, I've taken 1,000 and I've turned it into like 3,000 in 2 weeks, the last couple of weeks. So because of the way I've been trying to scalp for, 10% each time, but I realized that sometimes isn't realistic. So I'm like, all right, well, I can just go 5%. And that's when I started to realize that, scalping such smaller margins like that on Ethereum is no good. So it's time to go over to Sol, and that's where you can really start to compound those profits. I don't know the answer to that question, but I know that if I stay disciplined, I know I could turn it into pretty good profits.
So let me show people, right? So you start with 1,000, you earn 1% interest every day, right? So your 1,000 will turn into 1,100, whatever. Let's do this over a 2-year period, right? $1,000 turns into $586,000. That is the power of being able to compound your interest rates. And I don't think people really realize that. When you go from, a dollar, like saving in the dollar, that's getting depreciated, you are losing 7% of your purchasing power every year. That means over a 100-year period, your purchasing power of $1 million today will buy you $891 worth of stuff. Then you go from an asset like Bitcoin, even if it only appreciated at 10% per year. Just think about the difference in wealth that your family would have. And I just wanted to showcase and highlight, if you're able to just take 1% a day off trades, you could literally change the course of your life forever. Or if you can find, in crypto, you can get some of these holding accounts where if you stake it, you're making 14%. Not a day, but you're still outpacing somewhat inflation. And I just wanted to show you that. And what did I just tell you a minute ago? Okay, yeah, so check this out, Shawn. Let me show you something. This is, if we take a look at a coin like VRA, I don't know if it still is, but we can take a look into it. A lot of people were shilling VRA, and it's one of those Veracity. It's one of those blockchains that was supposed to, do all these crazy things, and it always has. If you come over here, I probably got to zoom out a little bit to find their GitHub. Right over here on the right-hand side, under where their website is, you can actually click on their GitHub. And if you take a look at this GitHub, see how blank this is?
Yeah.
You just see one green dot. One contribution on June 8th. And if last time I started to look through these, like you can click on their smart contracts and see the last time that any code was updated to their smart contracts, 6 years ago, right? You take a look at their token, 5 years ago, right? So let me show you now let's jump over here. So you can obviously see that there is zero development going on. What is this? This is probably some stupid random person just put one update or like one little line of code in there just to show anything whatsoever, right? Now, if you take a look at a project like Flux.
That's part of your holy trinity of crypto.
Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. And we go on to Flux's GitHub, right? We take a look at Flux Public. Updated 3 days ago, last week, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, right? You could just go on. This is what, if anybody's new to crypto and you're looking at these random projects, right? You at the very, very least, you want to come over here. If these people are, the community's popping, the Discord's popping, and they're telling you that they're making all these developments, they're doing all these changes, they're blah, 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 blah. You at the very least, you want to be coming over here and looking at their GitHub 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago. Every blockchain that is actually building and developing, their GitHub will be exploding. So it's just a little tidbit. It really helped me when I started looking into like, how do I know? Anybody can tell you anything, but the code doesn't lie. And if they're open source, it's one of the best, a lot of people will buy like Mario, right? The one big guy that does all the crypto spaces. What he would do is he would find crypto projects like VRA that were already established, had, basically market caps down to like say 25 million or 50 million, really, really low market cap coins. And he'd buy the rights to them, right? and he would take over the project. He'd revamp their website. He would hire a bunch of like crypto influencers to market the project. He would give them a percentage of coins or whatever to put their name on the website. They will all strategically promote the coin at the same time, right? And they'll do these like rounds of token unlocks and all this stuff. They don't just do it with VRA, they do it with new projects too. And then they pump them up and they promise you the world. And then if you go over here and you just look in their GitHub, you can tell that they're not building anything. There was never any revamps. There was never anything done. It was all just designed to basically find people like yourself that are new to crypto, are excited, don't really understand how to actually inspect these blockchains and look at the actual code. And it's very easy for them to manipulate you. But if you just come over here, like I said, you don't have to know anything about reading code. At the very least, you should just be able to look and go, is there an update? Did they do anything? So I just wanted to share that with you. And there's a lot of new people in here too. So it's what I love about crypto, man.
That's big. Yeah.
You can't do these things in traditional finance. You don't have access to find a project that has $1 million market cap because you're not a accredited investor, which means if you don't have like $100,000 or $1 million to invest and you don't go take a bunch of, woke classes to get this certification, then you don't have the ability to get in early. So you're literally like the SEC and these unelected government bureaucrat hacks like Gary Gensler have just basically blocked access from the average person to having access to capital markets when, I don't know how else to better say it, but that's just what I wanted to share with you, man.
Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And I'm definitely going to use that going forward. It's a great way to, know whether you're investing in something viable or not,
Yep.
And versus basically investing in an empty shell. That's not what you want to do.
Yep. So what are you going to be doing going forward? Where do you see yourself, 6 months from now? What are your goals with crypto? What do you think crypto is going to do for you? Are you just using it as a store of value, or are you using it a way to generate passive income? Where do you see yourself in 6 months?
So I love Trump coin, obviously. That's I'm super focused on that because it goes hand in hand with what I do every day. I'm working, we're doing LFATV, we're doing our shows. I love Trump. I think, as we get closer and closer to the election, my thesis has remained constant that the value of the token, more people are going to want to get in. I think there are stimuli, right? You have the Supreme Court cases coming up. We had the primaries; those are over. But you're going to have the Supreme Court, hearings on, Fisher versus the United States, the J6 obstruction charge, the immunity case. Then you got all the indictments. If the Fannie Willis case falls apart. That's the case that brought us the mugshot, and let's go out and say best case scenario, the case isn't even tried because she gets disqualified and it falls apart. I think we'll see the coin bounce. I think it'll probably pump off of that news. If he beats the Miami case, it'll probably pump off of that news. Probably, obviously it's not financial advice, but that's my thesis, that it will react. And so far it has done that. What we have noticed in some of the primary cycles is that the excitement would happen before the results. So the anticipation and the action was kind of priced in, but you can't really do that with the court cases because you don't know the verdict until you know the verdict, right? We all knew Donald Trump was going to win South Carolina by a lot. But you don't necessarily know the way the New York case is going to go. You could feel a certain way about it, but you don't know. You don't know the way the Miami case is going to go, right? So there's all that. You don't know the way the election is going to go. Although, polls can say one thing, but what happens on the field is a different thing. But I'm focused on that. I'm super focused on that. I love the coin, love the team, and what the coin is doing, what that project is doing. But as in crypto as a whole, where I see myself in 6 months, I want to be somebody who can, at any point in time, open a chart, find a coin that I like, trade it, and profit. And it doesn't have to be for 40x. It could just be 10%. I want to be able to, at a given point in time, make 10% off of a move. And right now, I'm able to do it, but it's a bull market, right? I want to be able to do that in all types of markets, and learn how to do that. Just look at the chart, figure out when's a good time to enter, when's a good time to exit, and whether we're swing trading, we're buying and holding, we're scalping. That's where I want to be in 6 months. I would love to, in September of this year, say, hey, I'm in, I'm ready to go. I could probably make how-to videos on how to trade and teach people how to do what I was able to do and onboard people into crypto and add to this, amazing space. And also somebody who is, I'm a political activist first. I want to find the people in crypto who are not involved politically and say to them, listen, man, I love this space so much and I love this country. And if we lose our country, you're going to lose a lot of what you love about crypto, what we love about crypto. So join me, link arms here. Let's elect a president that's not going to take your moneymaker away, your bread and butter away. And, let's save America, save crypto at the same time. And I think they do go hand in hand.
I couldn't agree more, man. You're so right. And that's such a good way to say it. So we'll wrap things up in about maybe like 10 minutes. I just want to show you a few cool things on the charts if you're all right.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. All right. So we were talking a little bit about bullish and bearish divergence. My favorite trades are short, but not in this market, right? So after Bitcoin runs up to $1 million and it's, basically hitting that, next new all-time insane high and the market goes bearish, shorting bearish and bullish divergence. So we have RSI on the right. You can have your settings however you want, Shawn. Everybody has a different way to set up their RSI, but just so you're aware, yours will look different than mine if you go home. I'm always setting mine on the 30. And for anybody that doesn't understand how RSI works, RSI indicator, it plots the open and close of each candle and it takes the average of the open and close price. And if you have your ISI set for 30 and I'm on a 1-day chart, each one of these candles represents 1 day. So the average price of this, and they'll plot it on a chart. So think of your RSI like a momentum indicator. And what you're really looking for is the very, very rare times that this actually happens, right? So over here, we have price at 57,000, and then we have price up here at 65,000. Now, if I go over here on my chart, and I try to find that exact point, okay, there right there at the 62.83 matches up with my 65, right? And then over here at this point at 57,000, which is right here. So if I just take where's my arrow one, right? Right here, what is price doing? Price is putting in
going up,
higher highs,
but your
right?
RSI is going down, right?
That is your divergence, right? So right here and right here, everything in this market is telling you, hey, dude, right? You are at a top of a market. This is your momentum saying, we're gassed, man. We're gassed. And price is trying, right? Came over here, tried to put in a higher high. What happened right here? Lower high, right? Lower high. And price is going higher. But this one is a little bit high, right? Higher than this, right? Probably, let's just say about roughly 5 or 6%, right? And then your next one, right, you're just coming up a little. This one's only 3%. So you can see your highs are getting lower and lower and lower, and your momentum's running out. So those are the money timeframes, and you can apply it to any, right? But when you're getting these type of signals on the daily time frame, right, that's when you really have to take a look at it. And this is where probably one of my most famous trades was calling the top over here. I called the top at 64,000. I didn't really call the top because then it went up and put in a new one. But this top I called, and we went just crazy bearish on the market. And I started shorting Bitcoin up here, and I turned 1,000 into like 10,000 down to here. And then in this stretch down here, in this stretch right here, it turned 10 to 30 in a couple weeks, and then turned 30 to 60 over here. Then I got wrecked pretty bad on a few trades, but we rode this up and turned that 1,000 into 565,000. And then I watched it all come down to about I don't even know. I stopped looking at my coin market cap portfolio tracker because it was embarrassing. But those are your divergences. So it's the same thing on bottom, Shawn. Let me show you that one too as well. So you'll get the same type of signals over here. When we were coming out of 2020, and I think it was the summer of 2021. Let me see if I can get over here and get on the chart, right? All right, so here's another one. So now your bearish divergence, right, is where price is putting in higher highs, but RSI is putting in lower highs, right? Now, if we talk about bullish divergence, what do you got down here at 15,000, right? Price putting in lower lows, right?
Yeah.
But what's your RSI doing over here? Again,
at higher lows.
Everything in this area right here after that 15,000 was saying, hey, look at the momentum shifting. We're no longer pushing that downward pressure on the market. Even though price is still falling, the weak hands are just selling out, or maybe some bigger players are pushing it down. But the momentum of volume and money coming into the market is drastically going in the opposite direction. There's a lot of people. I wasn't really big into I wasn't constantly at the charts over here every single day during the summer, but there's quite a few people that called this bottom, and these are the indicators. And again, you can apply it to the smaller time frames, man. You're going to have I remember the first time that my buddy Kite came on the show. He's one of the traders I told you about that turned 100 into 100,000, and he did it live. And then it was such a big hit, he decided to do it again. And he started with 1,000. He was going to turn 1,000 into 100,000. And I want to say he made it like 37,000 or 40,000 in like a week. And then he decided to go, or a couple of weeks, and he decided to do. Everybody wanted to know, like, hey, I want one-on-one training. So, all right, fine, screw it, I'll do it. I'll like $250, 4 hours, one-on-one training. And he opened it up, might have been $350, and he opened it up, and he had so many signups in the first 24 hours that he had to close it down. And for like the next 45 days, every day, 12 hours a day, all he did was teach people how to trade. Wow. I remember when he came over and he's like, "Oh, this RSI, you got to be trading the divergences." And I'm like, "What's this guy?" I couldn't get it in my head. And then once it clicked, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is." I only use one indicator when I trade. I know you're a really big fan of the RSI. Once you start being able to spot those bullish and bearish divergence, and there's bullish, bearish, reversal divergence. There's hidden divergence. There's a bunch of them. I'm not big into like specifically the ones. I just look for what I just showed you there, where price is putting in higher high. And you can also get it. There's also divergence where you double top. So price is double topped and RSI is putting in lower highs or lower lows, right? So you'll have fun with those. I just wanted to show them to you because I think they'll really help your trading strategy big time, especially on the smaller time frames when you're scalping.
Definitely love that. Yeah, because it's hard to get. It's easy. Sorry, it's easy to get caught. To get stuck in a trade when I'm scalping, and then I got to wait and kind of give it some time. And sometimes it comes back, and sometimes it doesn't. And I know there's no method that's foolproof. It's nothing perfect. You're going to lose trades, but I know that the make sure that your losses are less than your gains, and you're okay.
My buddy Kite Crypto, the best trader I told you about. I want to say he loses 80. What is somebody in the live chat will probably say it, but it's about 80%. I think like the best traders in the world lose roughly around 80% of their trades, but they have a strict strategy, right? Their losses are so small.
Stop loss. Yep. Yeah, they have a tight stop loss, and so that when they get into profit, it wipes out the losses instantly. Yeah,
instantly. Yep. Shawn, so I know we've been going for quite a long time, man. It's almost 2 hours. I know I want to get kind of caught up on what we missed on the State of the Union. I don't even know if Biden ever spoke yet or not. I mean, I can't wait to see what a disaster this was. Give a big shout out to yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you. Tell everybody about your show on LFATV. I know a lot of people aren't into politics, but Shawn's show is an absolute best. He's, in my personal opinion, the absolute best host, hands down, 100 times over on LFA. You're absolutely crushing it, man. I'm probably one of your biggest fans, so I want to give you the floor.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Rumble.com/LFATV. The show runs 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. It is called Ungoverned. And we have fun. We talk about the issues. I did touch on crypto today, because it's been on a run. And, we talked about that in reference to January 6th and what they're doing. So we have that. If you're not into politics, but you want to follow for the fun stuff, the Trump impersonation and some of the silly things that I do, you could follow me on X, Truth Getter at SHAWN_FARASH. And the website, that's what it is. Obviously, the easiest way to find all of it is on the website, farashmedia.com, FARASHmedia.com. Check it out. Send us a message, join the email list. Podcasts on the top right, the audio version of the podcast on the top right there. It goes up every day after the show, just in case we have issues, because sometimes Rumble's got, it's a growing platform. It's under attack because it's a free speech platform. We always got clean audio up there for you. If you missed the video, you want to just click it and listen to it like a radio show. I try and make sure that it plays like a radio show as well. So that is farashmedia.com. Best place. All my stuff is centralized there. You can find everything there, and hope to see you there.
Appreciate it, Shawn. And Shawn is also a fellow Cadena holder. We got Shawn a nice little bag of Cadena, so he'll be holding that when we're headed to the moon with us. So, man, I can't wait to share that journey, man, and see how much money we're going to make off that one. So appreciate you, man. God bless you. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Take it easy, Shawn. Later, man. All right, folks, we're going to keep the show rolling. We're going to hang out here for a little bit. Shawn's taking off, but I just wanted to tell everybody how much I appreciate all of you guys. We had 120 watching. Dang, thank you guys. We got 31 likes. Thank you guys for sticking around. Maybe we'll stick it out, do some live calls. What do you guys say? We haven't taken calls in a minute. Why don't we throw the number up on screen? I know I had quite a few people that were saying they wanted to call in and chat with us. We'll throw the number up on the screen here. We'll do the same old, what was it? We were doing like 5-minute calls. We'll take a few calls for a little bit and let's get the timer started. Let's get it up on the screen. Let's say what up to everybody. Let me throw the live chat back up here too. That's what we're missing out on. Thank you all. I'm in Rumble. Rick, my man, how the hell are you? Oh, don't call the number yet. I got to get Bluetooth in. Let me get a Bluetooth in here, friends. And we'll get this party started. Let me get Bluetooth in. Let me get the number open. All right. Oops. That's not what you guys want to see. There she be. There she be. We're going to take some live calls here in a minute. Let me get Bluetooth in really quick. And then you guys can let her rip, man. Let her rip. There it is. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right. We're connected. If anybody wants to give a call out, who we got in here? We got Emin in the house. Rumble Rick in the chat. Jacob, good to see you, man. Money Luke in the house. Phoenix Faithful. Good to see you guys, man. I know the Rumble live chat's not as popping as the YouTube one used to be. I used to be a lot more active over here in the live chat, but we're going to take some calls, and I want to hear what new coins you guys are hunting for. So if anybody's got some gems in their wallet, feel free to give a call in. I'll wait for some phone calls to ring in. We'll jump over here and jump on the charts too while we hang out and wait. Let's see what we got going on over here on the charts. Man, I'm so hyped for Bitcoin. I can't tell you. I don't know. I mean, we're getting pretty oversold on the RSI. But let's jump over here to the chart for a minute. We'll see if anybody wants to give us a call. Bitcoin on the RSI is, it's giving us those signals, folks. But what's crazy about these bull runs, if this was, Bitcoin was at 200, 300,000 and we started getting these signals on the chart, I'd be a lot more bearish. But right now, with the amount of people that are just now getting into Bitcoin, that don't look at a chart, don't analyze anything, and are just trying to flee the dollar in droves, it really looks like we're going up. I mean, what I was just teaching Shawn there, right? And if you take a look at this chart and what Bitcoin's doing right now, I mean, that is some bearish divergence, folks, if I've ever seen any. So we got price over here putting in drastically higher highs. I guess RSI is kind of still putting in higher highs. Oh, I'm at the wrong point. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it's definitely still putting in higher highs. So we got price putting in higher highs, RSI putting in higher highs. If I go back onto a different time frame, we go back to here, we definitely got bearish divergence here. I don't even know if we do there either. It's still looking like we're going to run up, man. Oh, I'm not even on the screen. I should throw myself back on the screen. I'm going to probably be kicking off another morning crypto show too, where we're going to be talking about news and headlines. There's later Crypto Warroom shows where I'm just going to be interviewing random guests. If you guys know anybody that's big into Bitcoin specifically, I really want to focus a lot on the Bitcoin ecosystem. There's a lot of cool projects going on there with the massive amount of liquidity that's inside the Bitcoin ecosystem. I think some of the biggest plays this year, triple top on RSI, no doubt, man. I mean, these charts are just insane, and the amount of money that's coming into Bitcoin, it doesn't really show any signs of any weakness whatsoever. I think we're only going up from here. What other coins you guys holding? Drop some in the chat. Bruh, you'll never believe this. I 3x'd on Loon C. No way. What's Loon C's back at it again? I still can't believe that project's actually going. I remember when they were trying to shill that one to us. Loon C. The fact that this coin has any has any trades going on or has any value whatsoever absolutely blows my mind. But Jacob, man, congratulations. It's so crazy that you can just throw money at pretty much everything when the market's like this. It really doesn't matter. But I think it's going to be the big projects that pay out long term. What are you guys' favorite coins? Sleepy Joe saying the same old shit. Is he really? Is there any good clips from that we missed out on? Yo, Blake Art, what up, my friend? New follower. Good to see you, Blake. Thanks for jumping in the live chat. We're just kind of hanging out here, kicking it at the end of the show. Nothing too special going on. I wish I had music like the old days. It's much better with music. FTX is still around. Yep, FTX is still around for sure. I don't know. No, FTX isn't around still. No, it's not still around. But I would not be surprised if they brought it back. I mean, it's their money laundering spigot. They almost have to bring back FTX. They have it on crypto.com, been holding it since the crash and caught the bottom. No way. No way, Jacob. Good for you, man. Good for you. Man, I still can't believe that was the coin that Shawn was telling me about. Z-Phil, DYNEX up 20% since I shared it in here last night. Z-Phil, let's go, man. You guys are crushing it with these meme coins, man. These smaller cap gems. I'm all about them. Let's pull that one up here. What other coins are you guys looking into? We got somebody new. Blake, what coins are you into, my friend? Check out Zephyr website. Let's take a look at it. ZEPHYR. There you go. It was the protocol one, right? Yeah, it has to be the protocol one. Yeah, this is the one. Did we check out their website last night? Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, yeah, this is the stable one. Yeah, we pulled this one up here for you guys last night, I think. Oh, maybe we didn't. Oh, no, I think I just read their Zephyr. How do I say it? Am I saying that right? I never say them right. Yeah. ZUSD. I did see that one. Wait, is this the stablecoin on Cadena? It's an untraceable, over-collateralized stablecoin protocol. That's what we really need, honestly. Zephyr. I think I'm saying that right. Zephyr. Man, that's going to take me a minute to get that one down. But yeah, man. Like, there's only one, right? There's 2 Flux coins. Which one is the right one? Oh, no, there is 2. Yeah, there is 2. Don't get scammed on that one. This is the Flux coin you want. It's run on Flux. Price point's $1. Market cap's around 358 million. Flux ticker. But he's right. There is 2 Fluxes. I think they both have Flux ticker too. Oh, one has the ticker FLX. So yeah. Oh no, there is Flux protocol too. And data mined Flux. Yeah, it's just the blue one. That's the one you want. Runonflux.io is the website. Yo, is that Mayo? Mayo? I like that name. Love the setup, Ryan. Brought me here to Rumble. Let's go, folks. We're on the free speech capital of the world. Of the internet, I should say, not the world. Oh, boy. I need to feel like I'm like out of my groove over here doing these crypto shows late at night. I'm so used to the fast pace of LFATV and just like not being able to take a break. And it's like every second the chart, something has to be going on the screen or I have to be talking. I don't get the chance to just sit back and kind of relax and hang out with you guys. And I feel weird. I'm not used to vaping on screen, so I keep taking myself off screen to hit the vape real quick. So don't mind if I stop talking for a second. Yeah, we can take a look at Cum Rocket for you guys. We haven't looked at that one in a minute. I remember when we were trading pussy there too. Cum Rocket, man, this is the shit that just cracks me up. 14.8 million market cap. And last week it had 1 million probably, or less than 1 million. Cum Rocket is it's taking off like a rocket. Cum Rocket just blew a load. Oh boy, man. Flashbacks. This is what everybody should be terrified. Check that out, folks. In an unprecedented fiscal pattern, the United States national debt is escalating rapidly with a velocity of the debt accumulation rising by $1 trillion every 100 days. And Speaker Mike Johnson is continuing to fund the terrorist party known as the Democrat Party, the terrorist organization. Unbelievable. We got Cum Rocket and Pussy Coin, but you can't vape on screen. John Wayne would be so mad. No doubt, man. No doubt. I should vape on screen. Yeah, who am I trying to hide from? Penny Kitty's in here. And she says, hi to my crypto people. She says, I'm a newbie, but excited about my wallet. So she was on, what was it? Penny, what were you on? Robinhood. She goes, hey, how do I get my crypto off Robinhood? I'm like, I don't know. I never use the app. I wouldn't use it. She's like, well, I can't do this. And I'm like, I couldn't tell you. I wish I could. I would never touch Robinhood. But we got her set up. She got a crypto.com wallet. So she's getting there. She's getting there. Crypto.com is a great start, Penny. We definitely want to get you with your own Zelcore wallet. But you can't do that until you get at least 40 hours of crypto studying under your belt. Once you get that first bit of knowledge and you start understanding how wallets work, we'll get you set up with a Zelcore wallet. That's what you really want. But you really want to pay attention and understand. I got a lot of great videos. If you just type in, if I ever say anything about a coin or a project and you just type in Zelcore, Ryan Matta, and you watch some of these videos, this is probably one of the best. It's about a 32-minute tutorial. But these are the wallets where we want to get you into. And we want to get your crypto into a wallet like this, off the exchanges. It'll cost you a few dollars to move it over, but it's worth its weight in gold. This is my absolute favorite crypto wallet, and I love the team behind it. They're going to do great things. That crypto wallet will be around a very long time, never been hacked. It has decentralized two-step authenticator. Flux is going to be doing big things this bull run. Every 100 days, that's right. KDA looking ready to pop. Yeah, why don't we do some TA on KDA? What am I doing over here? Maybe we'll sort by order and we'll go down. I don't have my good setup on here. I don't even think this is the right one. Man, I had these all set up here for us, and we had this nice little good setup. I could have swore it was Bybit. Maybe it was Bybit La 2022. Nope. I don't even know if I see KDA on here. Yeah, it's not even on there. I don't even have it on a list for some reason. It must be the wrong one. KDA on Binance. Oh my gosh, guys. Can't get enough of it, folks. I cannot get enough of it. When this thing rips, and like Steven was saying, he thinks they got market makers playing the game. I mean, that literally looks like it's getting ready to take off. It's consolidated down here at this next level. Where are we headed after this? Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, there is nothing in our way, folks. Oh, it started on buy. Let me go back to the KuCoin one. Right, so let's just be clear when we break out here. Right, so this was our 80 cents one here. We were only stuck there for a second, right? Because there's no resistance up in here. There's not many bag holders that are going to go, oh, yep, I got my money back. I'm gonna sell, right? We break out of this next route, which is where we were. You guys remember when we first found Cadena down here and it pulled back. We bought our bags at $1.39 or $1.32 or whatever it was, and then it was off to the races. I mean, look at this chart, guys. I mean, there's nothing there. There is nothing there. So, I mean, Cadena breaks 235 and starts to rip. You're looking at going straight to 6 or 7. And how many people do you think are going to be going, damn, bro, I wish I would have listened to you, man? I was screaming from the top of my lungs. And that's why I don't think people understand, too, is like, well, what we're going to be able to do and accomplish and the amount of people that we're going to onboard when you have people like me and Shawn on LFATV, and we have the ability to reach a global network and a global audience. And these all people, you remember like when your great-great-granny and your best friends, brothers and sisters and cousins and everybody is blowing up your phone because they know that you understand crypto? I would never talk about a crypto that I didn't believe in on LFA TV or recommend it to any people. And it's not just the people on LFA. You guys have seen me on some pretty big shows over the last year. Well, I'm also, pink pilling these people, and their audiences are like, I mean, we're talking millions and millions of people. So, I'm pretty sure I got one person really big. They have a 2.2 million person YouTube following and a massive audience, and they were into crypto before, but they never heard about Cadena. They were literally asking me if they should sell their ETH and get Cadena. I said I wouldn't sell my ETH because I think ETH's going to go up. I would just add, 3,500 KDA is what the sweet spot, I've been talking about since the very, very first time I probably spoke about Cadena. I think that, if you have the ability to accumulate, 3,500 Cadena, I think it's going to change every aspect of your life. I don't think they're, I just say, 3,500 Cadena in front of millions and millions, as a matter of fact. Yep. Penny Kitty says, Ryan, I'm going to get a full Bitcoin, got a bunch of Cadena. Link is moving also. Link's a really interesting coin. Link is not going anywhere, and it's used by almost every blockchain. Now, are there going to be other projects that deliver the same service that Link does in a better way? I think so. I think the API coin, what was that API coin that we were buying into? Love your new studio. Thank you. Thank you, Penny. Link's going to make people money no matter what, because it's used by every blockchain for the most part. Take a look at Link. Link's oracles, the only thing that keeps me away from Link, and the reason I've never bought any, is just this right here, right? I do think it's a safe play. I think you'll probably 5 or 10x this coming bull run. Maybe it hits $100 million market cap with how much liquidity is going to be in this market, but it's already at 11 million. So you take a look at a coin like Cadena, and Cadena has probably a $400 million market cap. So if Cadena just got the same market cap as Link, let me show you guys this website. This one's really fun if you're new to crypto, and you come over to market cap of, and we put in Link over here, and we put in KDA over here. So buying Cadena today with the Cadena's market cap would be the same or equivalent of buying Link at 77 cents. Now, if we swap those around, right? If Cadena has the same market cap as Link, Cadena will be $44. So you'd 25.7x your Cadena, your profits, just to be where Link is today, not where Link is going. So then it gets really fun if you throw this in here and you talk about BNB, which is where I think a reasonable, realistic price point or market cap for Cadena is going to be at the peak of this bull run, which would be a 71 billion. So if I'm right about Cadena and it hits my target and you have 3,500 Cadena, which you could buy now for less than $7,000, right? I was on LFA, and Penny can attest to this. I was screaming at everybody on LFA to buy Cadena when it was 41 cents. And it's now $1.79. So if you would have listened when it was at 41, and what's her name? I think there was only one person I know that did, and it was Kimmy. And I think Kimmy got it at like 59 cents. But let's just times that by 3,500. You could have got that for $1,435 when I first started talking about it on LFATV. So if you have 3,500 Cadena, right, that you would have bought for $1,500, and that goes up to $268. We'll just do 265 to a round down, right? Your $1,400 would have turned into $927,500. If I'm right. And when you talk about technology and blockchain technology, it's not even close. Cadena is never going to be Bitcoin, right? Cadena is never going to be decentralized on a scale that Bitcoin is, because they have smart contract coding languages that upgrade, right? It'll never be used as a global reserve currency. I don't even think the possibility is out there, because I don't think enough institutional players are going to trust investing in something or putting that much capital into something when somebody else kind of technically can control it or change it, right? And it's designed to be changed. But every single aspect of life as we know it will change. Our elections will be done on the Cadena blockchain. That's undeniable. That's a guaranteed fact. Every trade in the stock market will be settled on the Cadena blockchain. Almost everything that you do in the real world that needs to have massive volumes of transactions, we're talking about NFTs, every concert ticket, every festival, every event, every rock concert, all of their tickets will be NFTs on the Cadena blockchain. You'll see players like Gary Vee and some of these famous celebrities start getting on board with Cadena. And it's just inevitable, especially if we can get them in there now, right? When it's $1.37. And that's why I talk about it so much, because it is, in my personal opinion, the last opportunity that you'll ever have that gives you over a 50% probability of getting out of the rat race forever and changing the life and course of history for your family and generations forever. Bitcoin, I still think it's the same way. Bitcoin guarantees your children freedom. Bitcoin is an asset all of its own, and it's probably one of the greatest gifts ever given to mankind. Without Bitcoin right now, we would be in serious trouble. So don't get me wrong. Bitcoin is I fell in love with it. You know, in this bear market, I really started to understand. The more I got into politics and the more I started to see what treason really looked like, and the more I started to understand what these people are trying to do to us, our children, our family, our friends. And then you have a tool that becomes your union. And it's literally like the union for the middle class. You give people in areas like the hoods in Detroit, right, where they don't have access to banks. They get a check, they're getting taxed 53% by their government. They're getting probably taxed another 3 to 5% to cash it at whatever local party store. These people are at such a disadvantage, and Bitcoin levels that playing field. Bitcoin is literally going to change every aspect of life as we know it. It already is, and it already has. So it's like, it's hard to find that sweet spot between like, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, but I don't want to just sit here and talk about Bitcoin because everybody should be buying altcoins to take those profits into Bitcoin, right? Like my goal is probably to try to get to 10 Bitcoin. But if I put every penny I made for the next 4 years into it, I don't think I would get there. But I do think I can get there making smart plays in these smaller cap coins. And then as we go into this bull run, everything that I can pair with a Bitcoin pair and I can trade off into, I will be trading off into. So I got a bag of XRP right now, not because I think XRP is going up, because I'm using it to trade against Bitcoin and it's taking profits in Bitcoin. I have Matic right now, not because I believe in Matic, but because I like using Matic to trade against Bitcoin. And then Cadena is my big bag. I got Cadena USDT because there's not a Cadena Bitcoin pair. But the second that I convince Bybit to put a Bitcoin pair of Cadena on their exchange, it's going to change everything because then I'm going to be able to trade large volumes. And I'll be trading Cadena for Bitcoin. So when Cadena runs up on that last pump, it'll be selling me out, 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 selling me out. And then I'll just turn off my bot and I'll have a bunch of Bitcoin, still have a decent bag of Cadena. I probably plan to leave. I plan to ride down, 30 to 60% of my bag. If I just had to take a guess, give or take, I'll never sell all my Cadena. It'll be incremental, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. In strategic places, might be a pump, might be not a pump, might be, who knows. But with Flux, Cadena, and Bitcoin in your portfolio, you're in a really solid spot. I would say that Bitcoin, new person, should make up 50 to 75% of your portfolio, 10 to 20% in Cadena, 10 to 20% in Flux, or 10% into Flux, maybe 15% into Cadena. And then keeping dry powder is probably the most important, I think, for new people. Really trying to understand, maybe paper trading, maybe making some smaller investments and seeing how they play out. But this is the game changer. This is generational wealth, because no blockchain in the industry can deliver the services that Cadena can deliver. Even if you probably took 10 or 20 of the top blockchains, they couldn't do it. They're not safe enough, they're not secure enough, and they're not, quote unquote, decentralized enough for that to happen. But yeah, this is it, folks. Payout of $200 investment of $1,000. I want to study as much as possible. I spoke with Ryan earlier. I'm going to watch and understand all videos before I invest more. I did put 500 in. There you go, Penny. Yeah, you can put as much money as you want into Bitcoin. That's it. Bitcoin's always the safest play. And you don't really need much knowledge, but when you start moving larger amounts into Bitcoin, you want to make sure that you understand how to get that Bitcoin off of like crypto.com and into a wallet that you own the keys to. And that's also very important, Penny. And a lot of people don't realize this, right? When you go to create a crypto wallet, Zelcore is a little bit different because Zelcore, you're getting a username and a password. But like on crypto.com, if you create a wallet, on the screen, they should display like 12 words, right? Those 12 words are your permanent password to that wallet. So once you install it on like a computer or a device and you enter those codes in one time, those 12 words, you don't ever have to enter them again as long as you're on that computer. You might have like a login password, But those keys are how you basically restore your wallet on any device. So if I wanted to put that wallet onto my phone and have access to it on my phone, I would need those 12 words. If you lose those 12 words, so many people that are new to crypto, the software makes you write them down because it's going to ask you for them again. Number one mistake I see most people make is they'll take a screenshot of it. You literally just took a screenshot of like the key to your house, and anybody that hacks into your PC or accesses your device and finds that screenshot now has the keys to your house. Or people write it down and they just misplace the paper. They start cleaning. They're like, oh, what were those words? Oh, I don't even know what those were. And they throw it in a ball. And then their computer goes out and their computer breaks. And boom, you're gone. All your crypto's gone. With great reward comes great responsibility. So for the first time, the only way to take that property from you is with those keys, which means your government can never take it from you. Nobody can, order a crooked judge in New York City to force you to turn over your keys. They're yours, and nobody can get them from you unless they do it at gunpoint or by force. So very, very important. Do not lose those keys. So many people make the mistake. Now, what's unique about Flux and Zelcore is what those keys are is they'll give them to you in 12 different words because they're easier to visualize, but really it's just a bunch of numbers and letters, right? And however many, it could be, let's just say it's 75 letters long, right? What the blockchain does is they've created what's called, they take your public wallet address and your private wallet address, and then they put them into the SHA-256 algorithm, and then it spits out basically an answer. So think about it, if it's a calculator where if you put in 2 plus 2, it's always going to equal 4, right? So when you put in these 75 characters, it does this weird type of equation, but it always spits out the same answer. Flux is going to, on Zelcore, they're going to take your username and password, and they're going to throw it into the algorithm, and they're going to generate the hash that way. So instead of them giving you your wallet, and then your wallet address is the public address, so like if I wanted to send you Bitcoin, I need the public address, and then your private keys are the one below that you never show to anybody and you never share with anybody. Under no circumstances, if you're trying to set up an account on Binance or you're trying to work in DeFi, nobody from any exchange will ever, ever, ever ask you for those keys. If anybody does, it's a scam. No matter how bad you want to buy a crypto or you want to get into a new project, if anybody is ever asking you to re-enter those keys on their website, or they send you a link and say, hey, yeah, you just have to log in here with your crypto wallet, and people pull it out and they'll enter those keys, and they don't realize they're entering those keys and somebody else is watching it. And as soon as you enter them, they take them, enter them in, download your wallet again, and then they drain your wallet on you. So very, very, very important to not lose those keys. And I know I was saying something else, but I got distracted and I'm running out of breath. Crypto Doggy, good to see you, man. I use Decent. It's pretty sweet for cold storage and can connect with MetaMask. There you go. There's so many great wallets out there. Do you like Kraken? I have the 12-word wallet there. Unless they have their own DeFi wallet and they somehow, like you get those 12 words on like Google when you do shit too. So no, I would never ever trust leaving my crypto on an exchange like that, Blake. I would use Zelcore and get it off there. And the idea is that, now if you got a couple $100 on there, $1,000, probably consider it all right, Kraken being in Canada and with what Justin Trudeau's doing, you'd probably have to be a little bit leery on that aspect. But yeah, I would, and that's the way to do it. Penny said, I bought a new notebook. That's not a bad idea. So like my big crypto wallet, I took my old Mac. You can take an old computer, any old device. I would definitely wipe it completely clean. Make sure you're reinstalling the most updated operating software. So like if it's the Apple, make sure you update. If it's the, if it's a Windows, Windows computers are just so iffy for me. So what I did is I wiped my Mac computer, my old MacBook, and then I open it up and I connect via Ethernet. Very important. A lot of people say you don't want to do it by Wi-Fi. So I connected by Ethernet. I only website I opened was Zelcore.io. I clicked one button, which was the download button. After that file downloaded, I immediately disconnected my computer from the internet. Your Flux wallet is on the blockchain. You don't need to open Zelcore to see your wallet. You just need your wallet IDs, right? So then I went and copied my Flux wallet ID, my Bitcoin wallet ID, my USDT wallet ID, and my Cadena wallet ID. And I emailed them to myself, my public addresses, right? So they're in my email. No matter where I'm at, on what device, I can always check my email to get them, which means I can now send all of those coins, Bitcoin, Flux, Cadena, USDT if I needed, to that wallet. And it never has to come online. And I never have to open my wallet to check it because I can check my wallet address via the Block Explorer. So I know that my coins are in my wallet. So then I hid my 2 private keys at 2 different locations all the way across the state, which was really good because there was probably a time this summer when I was really pissed and wanted to sell some Cadena. And I just was like, damn, it's going to take me 2 days to drive across the state to go get my keys. You know, there was time when it was like $3 or something, I thought about selling some. And everybody's like, oh, do you sell? Do you sell? I'm like, dude, I got to drive 2 days to go collect my keys. I could probably do it in a day, but it's still like, I mean, that's a lot of driving. So, you know, everybody protects their crypto their own way, but I find it the most secure way. I mean, I got a decent bag. You know, if I'm right about Cadena and it goes up, we're talking, I got 100,000 of them. So if it does 100x, I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't know how many millions, but lots of millions. What's my thoughts on Rune at 90 cents? You know, what I think about crypto now is that I honestly, unless you have an inside edge where you're interviewing teams and you understand when their upgrades are going to happen, it's really hard to predict where these coins are going to go, what coins. I mean, I can tell you 5 years what I think about it, but Rune, take a look. I thought Rune, ooh. Well, it looks like you're either going to have the shorting opportunity. Oh, wow. Wow. That might be a good trade setup, man. Whenever this market goes bearish, man, some people are going to get wrecked. So you got Rune double topping. I mean, it's like a double top. You're putting in lower highs on price, but RSI's putting in double topping over here. You think it's going to $9, 90 cents? You bought some Rune at 90 cents. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at you, homie. There you go. There you fucking go, man. That's huge. I mean, if it breaks out, oh, you got a little resistance there. That might be it, folks. Putting a limit short with maybe 5x at like 860. And just hopefully it does its next push up. Where is it calling for? Oh, yeah, it is calling for price a little bit higher. Maybe between like 830 and 912 on that if it runs. Damn, nice buy, homie. Good for you, man. It's just crazy. Like Shawn was telling us, like you just can't make these gains in traditional finance. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you want to do, you're not going to make these type of gains. Ever. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, come over to the Rumble chat. It should be pinned up there at the top. I'm not very big fan of YouTube these days, so the only reason I have it there is that some people can't get Rumble in the country that they live in, and they were begging me to start up a YouTube channel, so I was like, all right, screw it, I'll do it. What else you guys got for me? I don't use Wi-Fi on my laptop, all Ethernet, and I only use phone that doesn't have service so I can hotspot with VPN. Never use your active phone. Way too risky. I don't blame you, Crypto Dougie. When I went to NFT NYC, that was the big thing. They were saying that people in New York City will walk by you with like those scanners and they can basically hack into your phone. And a lot of people will save those keys into their notes in their iPhone. So they were saying not to if you needed like a Bored Apes, you were supposed to put it onto a cell phone that you weren't using, like you said, and then just have that phone with the wallet and basically like a screenshot of it, because they didn't want you to have to actually connect to it. And there were people that were there that had got Bored Apes stolen off their phone while at NFT NYC. A bunch of people did. So I think you're right on that, Doug. Big time. VPN's critical too. You know, those of you guys that aren't into politics, a lot of people like Shawn talked about Signal, right? And then you've seen Tucker and the NSA hacking into Tucker's device. And he said that there is he called somebody in Washington. He's like, I called somebody. He's like, I hate being that guy that says I know, but like I can't say this guy's name. And he goes, I just want to know, right? Because they knew things that he didn't tell anybody, so he knew that they were listening to his phone. And basically, they said that there is not a VPN, not Signal. There is absolutely nothing you can do to protect the government from spying on your stuff. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're doing things on Signal, and you might think that nobody's listening. There's a very high probability. I mean, the Constitution no longer protects us in this country. So these terrorists that have taken over our government and installed these unelected politicians, there's nothing that they're not willing to do. There's no law, there's no moral, there's no high ground for these people. I mean, when they're trying to convince you to inject your kid with a deadly bioweapon, man. So be careful out there, folks. Don't get caught with your pants down. Definitely use VPN. You know, it was ERC scan. Never screenshot anything. Yeah, never screenshot anything ever, especially not your keys. I can't believe that people are such jerks. If they put that much money and energy into their schoolwork as they do as into hacking, yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, people are just, it's so easy for these people just to make tons of money. Oct. Let's take a look at some of these coins. OCTA. OCTA, baby. OCTA. What you got here? Ooh, that's a nice one too. Man, these are little gems you're finding. You got any more? What coins, Zifa? What coins are you looking at that are under like a $5 or $10 million market cap? Any good ones? I'm dying to find some of these new gems where I don't have to do a ton of work and you guys did all the work for me, and you can just be like, oh, hey, here's a $15 million market cap coin that's going to take off. Octaspace. Let's take a look at their website. You got a good one. Shill me, baby. Tempe, man. Tempe burn us, man. They burnt the Cadena ecosystem. That one I can't get behind. They scammed us once. They did a raise where they claimed they were building on the Cadena blockchain, and they raised a bunch of KDA. And then after they raised a bunch of our Cadena, they basically said that they aren't building on Cadena. And now I don't know if they're coming back now to say that they are building on Cadena, but it's just it rubbed me the wrong way. It really did. And then what else did they do? So if you think about it, you're a project and you claim you're going to build on the Cadena blockchain. You just think about it from a logical standpoint. They raise a bunch of money, and they need that money to fund the project. And they raised an ETH, KDA, USDC, or whatever it was. Then they decide a week after, 2 weeks after, a month after, that they're not going to build on Cadena. What would be the first coin that you sell off on? Probably all your Cadena, right? So, it's kind of hard for me to want to back a project that already lied to us and kind of stabbed us in the back. And then we're like, oh, we're going to go build on Ethereum or another blockchain. I'm like, no, you're not. You can't. If you're trying to build a decentralized search engine, you just can't do it. Octaspace is distributed computation, VPN, and data storage. Octaspace is a user-friendly cloud platform that grants access to distributed computing, data storage, serving VPN, and more. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned distributed computing, Octaspace makes it easy for you to tap into the combined power of CPU and GPU resources from nodes worldwide to tackle even the most challenging task. You can also become a host and earn rewards by renting out your space/CPU/GPU or traffic. Secure your data with our VPN service and enjoy effortless file storage. Ooh, sounds a lot like Flux. I dig it, man. What's the market cap on this? Chronos for free as a bonus. It's going up. Yeah, you do get Chronos. Crows, hopefully they learn their lesson last bull run. And, they don't spend $1 million on Matt Damon and then, take away their community rewards. But we've seen some of these exchanges like Binance in a bull run, and Binance being kind of like handcuffed by the SEC this bull run. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Kronos has a $4 million market cap. And if we come over here to market cap of, and we switch this one for Crow, you know, buying Crow today would be like buying BNB at $2.70. Sorry, it'd be like buying BNB at $27. So if it just hits BNB's market cap, you're looking at a $2.70 coin, and that would be a $71 billion market cap. Crow has a big enough name. They're in stadiums. Everybody knows them. Penny's brand new to crypto. The first wallet that she got after getting off of... Blue, you're in here just in time. The first wallet that she got, you know, getting into crypto was Crow. It was the first place she went. So whatever they're doing for marketing is obviously working. I wouldn't underestimate them. Would I trust them to leave massive amounts of crypto on? Hell no. Hell no. But for people like that, I mean, it's perfect. She's got a small amount, a couple $1,000s there. And she's getting paid in rewards that are going up. I can't blame you. Oh my God, I got burned on Black Moon Crypto. Remember that? I still hold it on ETH Explorer. Nope, never. I don't remember Black Moon. I don't remember hearing about that one, but it sounds about right. Black Moon Crypto. Oh yeah, it's completely gone. Extreme greed. All right, well, yeah, she's probably a rugger tugger. Oh, Blue, my man. I wanted to get my magic 8-ball out, folks. Ask me some questions. Man, I gotta put my headphones in. I've had this, Blue got me a gift, man. I gotta show you guys this. So when we get into the, when I start doing the crypto breakdown shows, I'm gonna do them during the daytime. So you guys know we shake the magic 8-ball. This one's President Predicto. Trump magic 8-ball. See, hopefully I don't have to put.
Forget that. Forget all of that.
Oh, this just got so much more fun. Oh, you got. Where's Bitcoin going?
I think it's totally ridiculous.
Oh, see? Might not be a good time. Hey, Trump, should I buy Cadena?
I think it's certainly possible. I think it's probably unlikely.
Oh, Blue. Oh, my gosh. This is going to get so fun. Where's the... One more for you guys.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, man. You got me another one, too. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, I got a fake news button, and I don't know where I put it. Maybe we'll save that one for tomorrow. I should have put them in the same spot. Hold on 1 second. We'll be right back. I'm looking for something. Give me 1 second. Aha. I knew I'd find it. My man, Blue. Oh, it needs batteries. 1 second. I'll be back.
complete disaster, let me tell you. You are fake news.
This is so awesome.
Fake. Fake.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh, it's gonna make the daytime show so much more fun. Thank you, Blue. Appreciate you, man.
I have no idea.
Thanks, Blue. Appreciate that, man. So back in the day when we'd do these crypto shows and people would be in here, oh, where do you think this coin's going? Where do you think that coin's going? I wouldn't know. I'd be, we'd go over here and we'd go to like the magic8ball.com. It's probably still in my, my crypto. Is it in there? How is it not in there? I could have swore I put it in my crypto playlist. Yeah, maybe we didn't put it in there. It's weird when you search Magic 8 Ball, all that comes up is a picture of Hunter Biden. It's really fucking weird. Original Magic 8 Ball. Online. Virtual. And it always takes me a long time to find it. No, that's not the one. But anyways, we'd come up in here and we'd go to the Magic 8 Ball. And then we didn't have to type it a question. Is Bitcoin going to 1 million? Very doubtful. Very doubtful. Yeah, see, fuck this Magic 8 Ball. This one sucks. There's a much better one on here somewhere. Oh, this one might be it. Nah, see, we didn't have to type anything. We just clicked on it. I don't want to ask that. I don't have to type the fucking question. I just want to click a button and the ball shakes. See, we have to type them all in. These weren't the ones. We'll have to find it. We'll have to track it down. Yeah, I don't want to have to type the question in, but that's where it came from. That's where it came from. Anyways, long story short, folks, we're going to wrap things up. That is a wrap over here on the Crypto War Room. Thank you guys for joining us. We will be kicking off the crypto breakdown again during the daytime sometime. Maybe like a 10 a.m. show. I'm feeling kind of something like that. That'll be like crypto news, not long form interviews. So we're going to keep the night spot, the Crypto War Room, for long-term interviews. I actually want to get a group of 4 people that are bigger in the crypto space. I reached out to Crypto Lifer. Yeah, Sam. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm in, but I haven't heard back from him. So I'm trying to get 4 people that are bigger names in the space that have been doing this for a while, so we can have like crypto debates and, just 4 guys. I wish Dan could do it. People like Dan Keller, but Dan's so busy, it'd be hard for him to commit, and 9:30 is kind of a late time for him. So eventually this will probably be maybe a once or twice a week show, or just whenever I can get bigger names on here. I got a big summer planned, so I'm going to be traveling the United States, going to 8 different states, maybe even 10. And we're going to be exposing all of what's going on with our government as far as how these children are being trafficked, where they're being trafficked, how the NGOs play a role in that, how the cartels are profiting. We're going to be going down to Mexico to do some sit-down one-on-one interviews with cartel members. We're gonna bring you the whole story, and I think this documentary could be one of the most groundbreaking and revolutionary documentaries that our country's ever seen. So I do have a really, really busy summer, but that'll be done on every other weekend when I don't have my son. So should still be able to keep all the shows running. I plan to keep all the shows running, but there might be a few episodes that I miss here and there. But God bless you guys. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump. You guys, catch you in the next one. Peace. Buy some Bitcoin and Cadena.
Run.